again. Today we are doing the part two of the decline of America with Mighty Hebrew. In the first session, we discussed the Africa and the different aspects of living in on the continent. We discussed some of the Diddy case and how it affects and how things were going on within that case. And we're going to continue with the part two of that. Without further ado, I want to introduce the guest, Mighty Hebrew. Welcome to Alchemizing Energy.
Shalom, shalom. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom.
Yeah, Shabbat shalom to everybody
Shabbat
on.
shalom. Yes, Shabbat shalom. Yeah.
Western Hemisphere. Our Shabbat is over now. For us, it's it's 8:36 now. So how's the family? How's everybody?
Everything's in divine order, cosmologically speaking. Thanks to Ephraim and the ancestors.
Yes, and we listen. My kids wanted to go down to the Independence Day celebration so bad, and I tried to bring them. Thank God we didn't go because, honey, houses were burning down, things were exploding. We don't even know what was going on. We don't know whether the fireworks or when I went outside that door, it was people sound like there was machine guns going off, all type of. I'm like, what's going on? So we had to take our behind and go back in the house. So welcome to.
Y'all can see me well. I'm on a new system. Y'all can see me well. I'm on my laptop. Y'all can see me good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can see you good. Yeah.
Okay.
We see you good.
Okay.
Yeah. I like that setup you got, man. I like the turban and the purple and the scarf. Yeah. Representing. I like that. That's nice.
So a lot has happened since we last talked. You know, Diddy has been charged with the 2 counts. He got denied bail, which was interesting. A lot has also come out, you know, in the news when it really comes to people, you know, really discussing. The jurors are speaking out. You have additional people speaking out. What is your take on that whole situation with that?
That's a good question. First and foremost, I give all praise and honor to Yahweh, the supreme, intelligent, powerful one of our forefathers, Avraham, Scott, and Yaakov. Those striving for righteousness. I say into the family, Shalom Aleichem. It's definitely an honor and a privilege to be on Alchemizing Energy again. DJ Genesis, Shalom to the Elder Baba. It's like I said, and I said it in part 1. I knew P. Diddy was going to beat this case. There was no RICO. When you're talking about RICO conspiracy, you're talking organized crime. You know what I'm saying? And I've never in my life, seen anybody get charged with RICO alone. So I already knew the RICO charge was going to get thrown out. And when you actually listen to the testimonies of the alleged victims, and they was mainly Cassie and the Jane Doe, which Jane Doe was 50 Cent baby mama, right? To this day, P. Diddy is still paying $10,000 a month for her living headquarters where she live at. Cassie said that she was great in August 2000, thus. But then you see text messages in October confirming even after that incident, she's still having sexual encounters with him. We see that Cassie was one of the main orchestrators of these freak-offs to the point after this case, a lawsuit just dropped against her. You know what I'm saying? Along with Diddy, they like co-conspirators, in this silver suit. And, we're getting to that a little bit later. Now, where he got found guilty of is transportation across state lines. By the way of, I don't want to say the word, but y'all know what I'm saying, the P word, okay? Mm-hmm. We have to be mindful and careful what we ask for. And see, Cassie wasn't careful. For P. Diddy to be found guilty of that, basically what they're saying is Cassie and the Jane Doe is a P. That's what they're saying, number one. Number two, they charging him under something called the Mann Act. And that's not the original name. So let me pull up the original name, which came out in 1910. And it was predicated on the late Jack Johnson. And he was a professional boxer
Right.
and he was, married to a Euro Gentile Goyim woman, a white woman, and he was going across state lines with her friends traveling around the world. So to stop this nigger beast, so to say, they created a law to stop this. Even to the point to this day, it's actually being like, fought in court right now because it was predicated on racism. Puff Daddy is going to get 12 months, 1 day time served. This is what he's going to get. And he's going to probably get some federal probation or federal parole. Now, what people keep talking about is he looking up to 20 years. They mean to say he's looking up to 10 years. Because in the feds, they don't move like the state. The state can either give you time if you got more than one charge concurrently, meaning that they can merge both charges and you can do the time at the same time on both charges, or they can run them what they call bow-legged or wild, which is consecutive, meaning if he was in the state, he would do 10 years, and then after he do 10 years, then he'd flip over and do another 10 years. It's not like that with the feds. It would be running concurrent. And when it says he's looking up to 10 years, the minimum is 6 months for this charge. The maximum is 10 years. Puff don't have no record. He has done a lot for the city and the country. They wanted him. The reason why I feel as though they didn't, grant him bail was for two reasons. One, imagine they would have gave him bail through that mayhem. It would have caused an uproar in the country. So the judge is thinking on that, along with making sure he has that amount of time in, because if he would have bailed him out, any time that he would have did walking, it wouldn't count. But all the time that he's done so far while being in prison, all that counts. So by the time October comes in, he'll already have that 12 months in time served. This is easy mathematics. He's not going to get 36 months. He's not going to get 10 years. He's not going to do any of that. He's going to walk out of there with stipulations. The stipulations could be federal probation, federal parole, 9 times out of 10 federal probation, because he's going in front of the judge. Now, if it was the federal parole board, then he'd be on federal parole. But because if he gets released in front of the judge, he'll get federal probation, probably some house arrest, whatever the case may be. But this, like I said to DJ Genesis, this was a humiliation ritual. You know what I mean? I'm glad they did not find him guilty of RICO, because if they would have found him guilty of RICO, they would have took everything he had and he would have been flat broke. And this is an attack, like I've been saying, on the generational wealth. Y'all got to remember, after slavery and the Emancipation Proclamation and all that old stuff that took place, remember when we became self-sufficient in the United States, we was built in many towns down south. We had many Black Wall Streets. The Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma wasn't the first one. We had many communities and towns similar in nature, even though the Black Wall Street was like the most noticeable, recognizable, successful one that was documented in record. But we had many towns that had the same enthusiastic idea and livelihood as it pertained to their towns. And what did the Euro Gentile do? He destroyed everything we try to build. And this is the same thing that they're doing right now. They're putting these humiliation ritual charges, these S crimes, on Black millionaire men and billionaire men, and then snatching their generational wealth. Because my whole thing is this. We know that cats like Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Iron Maiden, Pearl Jam, you know what I mean, Beastie Boys, all these different cats had crazy freak off parties and things like that. And they never tried to openly expose these people on the level that they've been doing our people back to back, back to back. And again, and let me make it clear, I'm not here saying Puff is a good dude or, we know that there's something mentally, psychologically, and spiritually wrong with the man. We know that. But to try to give him RICO and then we have our own people, it's always our own people. I'm sorry to say, we are worst enemy, our own people, because most of those that was pushing hard body against Puff was our people and mainly Black women. It's sad. Cassie knew exactly what she was doing. And just like Dr. Umar Johnson said, if that was like a Lizzie or just a typical Black woman, they wouldn't have did all that. Cassie knew what she was doing. She was organizing a lot of these things. We have texts from her where she's threatening to body cats or unalive cats. You know what I'm saying? If they would expose her activity. We see the constant texts back to back where she's asking P. Diddy, excuse me for my language, to urinate on her and all types of different things. So to try to make this woman a victim, you wind up marrying the former workout trainer of P. Diddy. When they hit P. Diddy with the Mann Act charges, what do you think the courts are calling these two women? They're calling these two women harlots. That's what they're calling them. For Puff to have them charges on them found guilty, under the Mann Act, going across state lines to manifest, that word. I don't want your channel to get struck. So my whole point that I'm saying is people, and I'm talking about adult people, have to take responsibility for their own actions. Come on, you got $30 million. You got $30 million. You should have went on about your business. And he was not, put up there for domestic violence. He wasn't put up there for that. And then we don't even know, well, we know now, but formerly, we didn't know why that situation with Puff happened. Well, let me tell you, what they did, the experts, they slowed down the video. So what Cassie did was took his phone and took a bag that had jewelry and over $100,000 in that bag, and she tried to run out of there. See, nobody wants to tell that these two were lovers and junkies. That's just the bottom line. And we know what happens when two junkies that are lovers get together. They have quarrels, they have fighting and arguing and things like that. But what they did was they took this one scene. And again, I'm not justifying what Puff did. Puff was out of order for putting his hands on that woman. But that's not act like she never put her hands on Puff before. The thing is, it just wasn't caught. But we know what two junkies do. If anybody from the hood, we know that you always got them crackheads or them, or they might be couples that might have been together 20 years and they fighting over the crack rock and you took my money, and they show it to you on YouTube all the time. So they had a lover's quarrel. Cassie tried to take the phone, the jewelry, the money, run out, and Puff Daddy caught her, and certain things happened. Again, I don't condone no man putting his hands on no woman, but I also don't condone no woman putting her hands on a man. Okay? So we have to be mindful that this was a toxic relationship. We have Texas where Cassie is coming to P. Diddy about, I'm ready to do another freak all Friday. Come on, this don't sound like, just like when she called Nipsey, the late Nipsey Hussle wife, Lauren London, or I think that's her name, right? Said, yeah, Puffy, he got me here. So she like, just leave, get out the car and leave. She like, no, it's mountain lions here. Huh? If you talking about this man kidnapped you and you got a way to escape and you don't escape, this is what I'm saying. This was a smear campaign to destroy one of the most powerful men in the country. And I don't agree with his sexual appetite. But what a man do behind closed doors, that's his business. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm talking strictly the facts. And the facts show that this case shouldn't have never, ever went to the feds. Ever went to the feds. But if anybody got anything to say or any questions, feel free.
My biggest question is what happened to the guns?
Right. What happened to the guns? What happened to the baby oil, the 1,000 baby oils that was spiked with drugs that when you wipe the baby oil on, it's supposed to knock you out? What happened to the children that y'all claimed that Puff molested? One of them was a little 9-year-old boy, huh? And all them little kids. What happened to them other victims that supposed to have been locked in this dungeon in this house and they was making all them YouTube videos, and then you notice they all just disappeared? This is how you know that Puff did something to somebody in the higher ups. And when we study what is known as Black Rock is a company that Puff Daddy sued for millions of dollars. And the CEO of Black Rock is the former director of the CIA. Come on, man. We gotta stop acting like there isn't a target. Why is it that out of everybody that these sexual crimes or S crimes happen, these S crimes happen, why is it that the black man is being used as the poster child of this? This is that same psychological warfare they was doing in the 20s and 30s. Remember they made that movie, the Elder Baba noticed, they made something called The Rebirth of a Nation. And in Rebirth of a Nation that was made in the 1930s, they created a sensation of fear that the black man was this savage that was ravishly running around raping white women. And they would create these posters of a black gorilla grabbing the puny little white woman and savagely ravaging her. This is the same thing that they doing right now with social media. The poster is social media. The black gorillas are Pop, Tupac, Mike Tyson, Puff Daddy, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby,
Mystical.
Mystical. The list goes on and on. They even Kobe Bryant, Aaron Hall.
Oh, the list goes on.
Guy from the Fat Boys that died.
Yeah, the list goes on, man.
It just goes on and on and
on.
on.
They said Bill Cosby, Quincy Jones. I mean, everybody. You know, it seems like.
And the thing is, this is a way that they strip the wealth, because you got to remember, when they lock these men up, they're spending multi-millions of dollars to get out. You know what I'm saying? It's the same racist, jealous hate that the surrounding white farmers had against those. Anybody that read the book Black Wall Street, remember the farmers, they was racist and they hated, you know, and they were jealous of what we were doing at Black Wall Street. It's the same when you seeing people like Puff Daddy having these freak offs. He got the keys to the city. He's doing this, he's doing that. They attacked Jay-Z. But Jay-Z, he dismantled that with the quickness. And at the same time, he helped Puff too, because you got to remember, they both was co-defendants on that same case that got thrown out. Mm-hmm. This woman said, yeah, I was this age and this guy took me to the P. Diddy party, this, that. And then later on, my father came and got me. They went to the father. The father said, I don't recall nothing like that. Nothing like that never happened. You see what I'm saying? So, yes, P. Diddy he's a freaky dude. We know that. But the charges that they had against P. Diddy, it didn't stick. It didn't stick because there was no RICO conspiracy. That means other people would have been charged with him. And it was brilliant. It was very brilliant for P. Diddy not to bring no witnesses. That was the most perfect thing to do. Because what do they tell you before they lock you up? As they put in them cuffs, you have a right to remain silent. Anything can be used against you in the court of law. You have a right to an attorney, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Puff Daddy never said a word. He never even made a statement. He never even made a statement. And he never told on nobody. You see what I'm saying? Now it done went from, a negative thing about the baby oil to now people running around on social media parade and pouring baby oil on. And you got them saying now we need to, get in some stock or invest in Johnson & Johnson baby oil. See, Puff right now is in the most advantaged state in his life right now. He got the world in his hand right now. But if he understands his position and he changes his rhythm, then he can do something good for our people. You know what I'm saying? If he understands how to move correctly on the chessboard. But right now, he got the upper. The man beat the feds. He beat the United States. You know how hard it is to beat the feds under RICO conspiracy? like, come on.
Bro, speak, bro.
You know how hard it is to beat them people, man? Like, come on. Listen, and if usually people that do beat the feds, they lose first and then retrial, they win.
Right.
Come on, the man didn't call. Listen, man, shout out to Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
The man did not, calling no witnesses. One might say, damn, why he ain't calling no witnesses? How you gonna call witnesses about something he know nothing about? Very smart. Even if he know about it, that was a smart move. He only said one thing throughout the whole entire situation. He thanked the judge and told the judge that he's doing a good job. That's it. That's it. When you listen, when you on a whole nother level, when you thinking in the mind of an elitist, and you on a whole nother level, you don't have to speak. And Baba, no, why do living, breathing, flesh and blood nationals have to speak to artificial beings or juristic beings?
Speak well, bro.
He ain't got to do nothing. He just sitting there.
Yeah.
He ain't said a word. How you going to charge somebody? Listen, you only can deal with people that go back and forth arguing. Because once you start to do that, you start to drag yourself in somebody else's jurisdiction.
Nah, you don't do that.
So Puff just sat back and he just listened and prayed.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it. So again, and I'm not saying I'm pro Diddy, I'm pro truth.
That's
you
it.
Claim what did Nino Brown said when Ice-T said, I need you to play, matter of fact, I need you real fast also to pull up the end scene, the end court scene of the movie New Jack City. And with that, the Ice-T said, I should have killed you myself, bitch.
Yeah, right.
And what did Nino Brown say? This is the law. This is the law. How you gonna basically be mad about the law? And that's the problem with people on social media that are self-proclaimed journalists. They don't understand the law. That's why you got people running around, oh, he's going to get 20 years. He's going to get 10 years. No, he's not. He's going to get time served. That's why that judge left him in there and didn't give him bail, because if he would have gave him bail, it wouldn't align with what he would have gave him. So by him sitting in jail, He gonna be like, okay, take this 12 months in a day, and here goes some federal probation. Have a good day.
So I wanted to like kind of get into like, okay, you talked about the black billionaires and how wealth is being like transferred. I want to also
Yes.
talk about another transference of wealth that happened in the past, right? So we had things like Black Wall Street, we had things like Rosewood, we had like I can name numerous towns that black people had. I mean, Black Bottom in Detroit, you know, that got all these places like I even what was it, Lake Lanier, that these things got lakes put over them and highways put through them and things like that. And so I wanted to like talk about integration and how at one point we as the black community were a thriving community, and then the power structure decided that no, we think that we want an integration because we were treated badly and this we wanted to be integrated into the society. But what
May
happened is
I,
that the system saw that we were actually thriving, and they was like, no, we can't have this. We need to put them back into slaves so that we can like
may I,
benefit off of them. Go ahead, Baba.
may I interject? And to
Yeah.
the mighty Hebrew man, spot on, my brother. I boy got you. Look, what happened to us with integration? That was a word that was not familiar in our community. It was a new word put into our vocabulary that we did not do any research on. We was fighting for equal opportunity and human rights. When they brought this word of integration in, which is a word we never used, nobody sat down and educated on what is integration. I tell a lot of folks now that want to be conscious, quit grabbing these damn labels and wearing them, because everything you grab has a spirit attached to it. It will manifest. What does integration mean? They never told us. It sounds like something we want to do. And when we found out, we wound up assimilating and losing everything we had. Did you not know that you have at least 25 towns in Louisiana was founded by black people? 25. Untalked about. There's a town here called Colfax, but where a massacre was done in Colfax, Louisiana, where the blacks were whooping the whites, and they wound up took them into a surrender. They killed 100 black men in Colfax, Louisiana. Colfax, Opelousas. These were towns founded by black people in Louisiana. That's what I was saying. Our problem is we run on emotions and not on facts and common sense and wisdom and understanding. We get emotional because it sounds good. It must be good. It's not. It's not. Everything that look, it's not. And that's been our downfall. And it's been the leadership that we counted on to lead us, didn't put us in classroom and says education before initiation. Before initiating this idea, let's educate them on this word. The word minority. We fell for that word. Who wound up being the minority? The white female. Right now, when it comes to minority, they put the white female up, not the white male. The white people, and then the whole black nation falls on the minority. We've always been the majority, you know. The historians say we've been the majority, and we're still the majority. But we still keep wearing it because the minority seem to give us a little up, give us a few dollars, little change. There she is. Hey, Goddess, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you
All
today?
right. Yeah, and you know, and we fall for help, you know. We're going to learn that when we anything brought to us, before you put that jacket on, do the research, the etymology, timeline, chronology. Where did this word come from, and what kind of spirit is attached to that word? Because nothing comes in this word without a spirit being attached to it that is the driving force to that word. And I looked at that, and that was our downfall back in the 60s and 70s when we was fighting for equal, what we call human rights. They call it equal rights, civil rights. Drop the word civil. Get that out the package. We're talking about a form of orchestrated white supremacy in action, you know.
And so I want so even when you talk about the Mann Act, this was a racist.
The whole thing. Anytime we made progress, they try to find an alternative to take that away. Because as you know, most nations feel the threat and the power of the black female and the black male. And when they unite, When they unite and get all that done, there's no force that can stop us. But our thing is, even back in the so-called times of Kemet, they separated, they killed the boy babies and kept the girls. They did all these things. Everything started back dividing the family. Then they brought into America, they brought in this thing called welfare. The man had to be out the house in order for the family to survive. They find every way to divide and conquer has been the name of the game. Now, our problem is this: we keep falling for the okie doke. We keep falling for it because we got that individualization going on in us now, and that's the danger. When we, as the brother say, if we demonize our females, then the whole nation is demonized.
Shay. And I wanted to play this clip right quick because I wanted to give an idea about this situation when it really comes down to it. Because I think that when it really comes down to what happened to us, I think that we don't really understand how our system is destroyed, and then it's allowing even to this point for people like P. Diddy, and now there's like a witch hunt going on where now you have other people that are being brought into it, billionaires, like just like Mighty Hebrew said, that are and now because they took out the towns, now okay, people rose up from out of that. Now they're gonna take that down, and all this stuff is really a form of just trying to control the narrative. Let's go.
Because the integration itself is countermanding any possibility of you ever acquiring power and wealth. You cannot empower yourself at the same time you integrate. Integration, Paul, means disintegration. It means reducing yourself to a micro spec. Because in a society where the majority will win and rule and the minority will lose and suffer, why would anybody want to integrate? Integration is making black folk a guest. Integration means I will make you a guest. I will make you a guest in something that's owned and controlled by other people. I'll make you a guest in white suburbs, in white schools, in white businesses, in white organizations, in a white government. See, black folk can never acquire wealth and power as long as they're integrating. And what's going to happen, though, with this whole concept of integration, it's going to hold blacks in abeyance until these other groups, competing groups, come in and wipe them out and push them into a subclass structure. Now, you mentioned the busings, for instance. See, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen happen. See, my family, as an example, was a part of the family that owned the only black bus line that you've ever had in America. The only black chartered bus line you've ever had in America. And that was in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. That was a safe bus company. We didn't have just one bus, 3 buses, 5 buses, or 10 buses. We had over 500 buses. And our buses didn't just service the black neighborhoods. They serviced the black neighborhoods and the white neighborhoods, period. We put the white bus company out of business there. I mean, that was a Duke Power Company. Duke Power Company, named just like Duke University and Duke Electric Company. We put them out of business because we ran a very competitive bus line. Now, our bus line was vertically integrated for black folk, which gave us a power base, a wealth base, an employment base. We hired our own people. We bought our own buses, repaired our own buses, operated our own buses, had our own drivers, our own mechanics, and we serviced both neighborhoods. But what put us out of business was not our inability for us to compete. It was the fact that blacks decided to integrate down in Montgomery. And when Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks integrated the buses there, rather than going in and buying the bus line from the whites and taking it over and operating it under black control, they decided that it was much better in the context of integration, which was social. Let's just socialize with whites. If whites are sitting on the front of the bus and we sit on the back, let's move up front with them and let's integrate with them. Let's intermix and make it a social issue. And so black folk then moved from the back of the bus to the front of the bus. Like, who really cares?
There is a growing number.
But let me finish the point now. Here's what happened now. When that movement moved up to North Carolina and came to North Carolina, the blacks in North Carolina said, we also want to sit on the front of the bus. And in North Carolina, we said, but we don't have any white buses you can sit on the front of the white bus. They said, well, why don't you all get some white buses so we can sit on the front of them? So our bus company went out of business. So then they brought in white buses. Now whites run the bus line. And the same thing happened to our black cab companies and our black movie theaters and our black restaurants. Everything black went out of existence because black folk see integration as being a social issue and somehow they feel if they get closer to the white society, they're elevating their status, and they're not. They're disintegrating. And I'm a sociologist. I don't know.
I was about to say, we got
Monica.
Sheesh.
Monica.
Yep.
I want to share this, and I'm pretty sure Mighty Hebrew with him know. A number of years ago, we had 2 companies, Gray Line and Trailway, right? Trailway went out of business. Who bought Trailway?
Greyhound.
And what did Greyhound do with the buses? Sold them to the Mexicans. They started their own bus line, running from Texas to Mexico, down to Laredo, down to Mexico. We sat around and won't know what to do. And they started their own bus company. Right there in Oak Cliff, they had 3 bus terminals carrying Mexicans down to Mexico. And we sat around and won't know what we're gonna do next. We should have jumped on it. A buddy of mine, his name was he started his own little charter company. He got in there with 1 bus. They had bought all the buses up, got them for like pennies on a dollar, and started their own bus, and they still got their own bus line. So it happened that well now we got a brother here, got his bus line in Louisiana. But soon as Trailway closed their doors, and at that time a guy named was a black guy was running a Greyhound. Okay, the Mexicans bought the buses and started their own bus line. Why didn't we buy the bus line? Why didn't we capitalize on that money? See, we all time chasing whoop cookies, chasing the white man's ideal of a dream, instead of we being visionarians and creating our own. We're strong. Why? Well, there's no vision, the people perish. We following dreams that became a nightmare.
Absolutely.
You know, and we missed the mark. And I look at to this day, everything we complain about, you can't keep forcing yourself in other people's houses and think you're gonna run it. Create your own. One thing I like about Spike Lee's movie, what was it when he came out with it? What's that movie came out? The first one Spike Lee did. Help me out,
Are you talking? His first movie he made was not School Days. It was something before that.
Yeah,
It
because
was
Do the right thing. No, she's gonna have
do the right thing.
Right,
Do the right,
She's got to
do the right thing.
She's not having this.
Rather than trying to all with the Italian about their pizza place, start your own pizza place across the street or down the road. What did oh man, I'm in the fall. Booker T. Washington says, drop your bucket where it is, begin to build. Quit looking at somebody else's and you build. We're so busy looking at other countries to do what we need to do for ourselves. Barry Shango taught us that. Take your resources and pull them and you build your vision. Because as long as you're building another man, you cannot freelance in another man's idea. You got to learn to step, and we have not. When we become Arab, we became more Arab than the Arab, more African than African. You name, we become more French than the French. We just take over stuff. But what about our own identity? Where is our identity? Where is our vision? Now we claim we taught all this to everybody else, how to read, write, spell, and all this, how to wash, how to bathe. Why are we at the tail end? Well, we're under a curse. Well, how do you get under the damn curse? Because the curse is us. Like you said, we're our own worst enemy. And I'll go quiet. Man, I'm glad to see your smiling face. I don't call him Queen, I call him God. Without y'all, it ain't no us.
Definitely appreciate that.
I just wanted to say this one thing. It's definitely an honor to be on the show with the Sister Queen. How you doing?
Oh, thank you. It's an honor to be on the stage with you as well. I'm doing okay. How's everything going? How was your weekend going so far?
Absolutely great.
That's good to hear.
This is my first date. I tried many ways of getting in contact with you, sister, trying to make you laugh.
Oh, you did? Okay. Well, you know what? You got in contact with me. It's definitely nice.
Look at your IG. Look at your messenger and your IG.
Oh, okay. I'll start looking at that. I normally don't be on there, but I hear people tell me all the time.
Hey, enough of that flirting, y'all. We talking about America. Look what y'all doing.
Give a shout out to my
the love connection. Okay.
Say this one thing. Y'all get time, type up Baba Olivia. Y'all know one of my wives, Sarah Jacob. She's a actress over here in Tanzania, East Africa, and they have a mini series called Baba Olivia. It's a viral TV show. Go check that out. She just completed it. So it's like over 20 episodes. I know you tired, baby girl. I'll be with you shortly. But yeah, she just finished completing that. Also, she's a model. So soon she will be on Alchemizing Energy. You know, and she told me to tell you, DJ Genesis, she's coming on to do
Okay,
an
cool,
exclusive
cool.
interview. So yeah. And it's like you said, what we talked about, that's what she was feeling. But now she like, all right, I'm gonna do it now.
Okay, good. Because I want to hear about that. So yeah, but yeah, y'all, you up there? What you trying to get another wife? You want look? You want a queen 6'2"? Wait, how tall are you? How tall are you, Mighty Hebrew?
Well, man, I'm 5'10" and built solid.
Well, no, she's 6'2", man. You know what I'm saying? Can you
Hey,
want to
hey,
climb?
man. Hey, look, the taller man.
Oh
I
my,
like
oh my
I
goodness.
like
All
I
talk,
like
all talk,
I
all
like
talk, and I come with heels
like
wear.
I like
I
This
don't
this
come.
look,
turned into a love connection show. We about to do a love. I'm gonna do a love connection show.
look, I like listen, Bob, I like chopping down trees.
Yeah,
I don't
trees.
know about chopping down the tree.
You
I
gotta
don't know
climb
about
the trees.
I don't know about chopping down trees. I don't know about chopping down trees that's already rooted in the ground. And when you
I
root it,
look out,
like,
look out, God.
it
Look
ain't
out,
that
God.
easy to
Look
chop
out,
like
look
that.
out.
Nice,
It's gonna take some. It's
nice
gonna
Look
take
come,
out, look out,
professionals.
look out.
When you
yeah,
hit 50
nice
years old and you
comeback.
can hear these type of things, that means you can
Woo-wee.
see a different light of light. So you
Yeah.
know what? I don't
Okay,
know
so
about chopping trees down. Maybe me and you could tear them down together, but just to chop them, I ain't ready for that
oh,
one.
okay.
What was that?
Okay.
Hey, you dealing with a daughter Roshun? Daughter Roshun, don't play that. Okay, let's go. So
Yeah,
listen, y'all.
yeah.
All
So
right.
let's hear what the Queen got to say. So how you feel about the situation with, you know, the whole situation with Puffy and you know, the RICO conspiracy got dropped, all the major charges got dropped, and we already know he got found guilty of certain, like the Mann Act. What is your take on the whole situation with the Puff situation?
Well, my take on that is, and first I want to tell everybody in the chat, hello, 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 and welcome, and tell everybody on stage, welcome, and thank you for having me. I didn't know you guys were on, but I'm glad I came and looked on home and seen that you were live. So I definitely appreciate being welcomed once I sat. I heard a couple of things before I was on stage. I heard you saying mostly about it seems as though Black men are being targeted. They're being targeted because of money. They're being targeted for this. They're being I remember hearing Bill Cosby. I know P. Diddy, and the list can actually go on. And I definitely would agree with that. But the only thing that I probably would disagree with is the word target, because I feel like you're targeted when you're innocent. But when you've done something, I wouldn't consider that as a target. I would consider that as an open door for people to start healing, and then you start healing as the person that's accused. So whatever went on with Diddy, it wouldn't have started with money, and it wouldn't have ended with money if someone didn't put themselves in a position to be looked at like that. And I know that we say, oh, it's a lot of lies, it's a lot of lies. But one thing that I believe in a lot of lies, because when I search through lies, I often find the truth. And when I hear a lot of the truth, I often find lies. That's when you know you're blessed from the inside and you're able to see it from more than one way. So when I take away from this, I don't take away his money. I really don't even take away his color. I take away the behavior, and that's the behavior of people, not money. After the behavior of people, then money come into play. But what if you were that person that was walking in the right light? What if you were that person that was doing unto others as you have them to do unto you? What if you were that? If you were that type of person, then you wouldn't have to be targeted. You would be targeting. Like me, I'm targeting. They're going to start targeting me, but I'm targeting right now. And what I'm targeting is we need to tell the whole truth. Don't gaslight it. Don't sugarcoat it. Put it on the table. Let people be able to make the responsible decisions that they want to make, not by being coerced by money, not by being coerced by behavior, but honestly, can be coerced by the truth. That's how I feel about it. I don't see the money, I see the behavior. And with behavior comes a person in front of it. So that's on the Diddy part of it. The next thing that I wanted to hit on, and maybe y'all could do like I did, write y'all notes down, because I like when they start coming, because I don't go along with everybody. I go along with what I see as true. Then if you could back your truth up, then you need to stick firm with it and don't be chopped down like Prince said. That's the part of me that you can't chop me down on. You can't chop me down on the truth because I wear them in my heart. I don't wear them in the building. I don't wear them on the grounds. I don't wear them in the book of Bibles. I wear them in my heart. And when you wear them in your heart, he gonna lead you to the building because that burns. So where you gonna go to the next one? He gonna lead you to the book because what people don't understand, there's two sides to the book. You got the old and new, and then how many books are in the book. And then you got to understand what each book means. So when you led like that, you'll know when to be chopped down and when to stand firm. But I also wanted to kind of touch on the money thing. I know there's a lot of people that actually go against Trump. I'm one of those people that go against Trump. What I've learned was it's not Trump that I go against, it's Trump's behavior. And I tell everybody it's the fact that he do not play well with others in the sandbox. You got to be able to play well with others in the sandbox in order to get an understanding of everything. But here's the thing about that. You might not get along well with somebody in the sandbox, but you may also notice something about that person that might ring to be true. All of the proposals and all of the whatever he's signing off on, you don't have to agree with everything he do. That's not what it's about. You have to vote on it. If you vote on it, your votes, if it's a collective of them, it's which way you sway. But what about those bills that he put on the table that actually do help us? Like the bill of immigration, like the bill of child rebirth in our country. What about those particular bills that so many people are clouded because they worried about P. Diddy money, because they worried about this one money, they worry about so many things, but they're not understanding that Trump might be the worst and he might be the best. And that's playing devil's advocate. And I feel I can run the same road. If I see that I got to make a decision in order for things to start shifting back where they need to be shifted, why won't I make executive decisions? If you understand and take Trump out of the picture and look at the fact that if we can start shifting things back over, what goes up will have to come back down. Right now, there's nothing down on the ground if everybody pays attention, and I keep saying it. Boots are on the ground, but there's really no movement. There's only movement for the rich, and honestly, the movement for the immigrants, for me, and the movements for not just immigrants, even the ones that are on Social Security out there. Y'all know who y'all are, especially in the damn Black community. If you on Social Security and you know you working them undercover jobs, guess what? You are part of our economy as well, not just immigrants. The difference is the immigrants can get caught quicker than our own people. But if we start shifting people, places, and things back where they need to be, you don't think you will see a breakup in even the Black community? You will start being able to see the fruits of your labor. That's if y'all take the name Trump off the table and look at what he's writing. He's writing for you to be able to start building in the air right now. See all those corporations? The corporations are up, but look how many of them are falling now. So if corporations are falling, who do you think is coming next? The mom and pops. If you start positioning yourself right, in order to position yourself right, it has to be those roots. And then from those roots, it has to be a foundation. And then from those foundations is when you start building what you're looking for. Building. You don't, it's saying go to other countries for this, go to other things for that. But you got it in your country because all the other countries have to come to us for a lot of stuff. And I just wanted to say that everything's still going to lead back to money, even if it is about P. Diddy. But imagine if you start growing and having your own money. You wouldn't give a damn about P. Diddy money because honestly, I don't. I really don't. I'm looking to build my own wealth, and everybody gets on social media and they say building wealth, or you could do this or you could do that. But I would like to offer anyone, because I'll sit with you on any day. If you're trying to get us over to other countries because you see the wealth can be so prosperous, if you're trying to get us to over other countries because you feel we can grow and build, why don't you start leading by example, giving people something to look for, like what I do. I do a small channel talent search every Friday. Who comes to support? Not the communities I support.
Okay.
You know what that does? If I'm trying to get small channels to show them if you're already here, you could be seen. Why isn't my Black community supporting me? Don't I come and support DJ? I come and support. They don't support. I come and I support other channels as well. Why? Because I know I'm a speaker. and I know what I could do, and I know what the power in me is. I know what it is. And I understand me to the fullest. And I understand if we really came together as communities, we can have so much more. But look how we're even separated on social media. So if we're so separated on social media, why would I put my boots back on the ground looking for my community to help my business raise? I'd rather stay in the air with Trump, let him clean out all the dirt, the dust, and start getting from cracks and crevices to start building myself up. Because you look at people with their channels, you think they doing the things that they really should be doing to help each other, but they talk it, but I don't see the movement in it. I don't get it. It's that I think things like that even scare small channels away because they see these big 200,000 subscribers, but they don't know. That's not the one you want to lead by because that's the subs you see. They're not showing you any kind of substance, and a lot of them not even making money. So why not build on your own?
So I wanted to show this real quick because I think it's a substantial thing that kind of is aligned with what you're saying. This is one of the things that people were feeling like there's a collapse happening in this entire situation. Let me.
It should be a collapse.
Let me show.
Rebuild and revent it. In order for you to rebuild, you got to tear down. And when you tear down, you're going to take a loss for a minute or two. But I would take a loss for a minute or two versus taking a loss for the damn years that I've been losing. And I'm in the 50s. I just turned 50. And I know for a fact, if there's anybody out there that's 50 years old, y'all need to get on YouTube.
Stop lying. Stop lying. Stop lying.
I feel like you need to get on YouTube. You can start making money. You can get yourself together. You don't have to work as hard.
Queen, you need to stop. You need to stop lying. You know you ain't no 50. No, what you mean? What you mean? You 30?
I thought you were saying we don't work hard. I was like, I got to hear everything he's saying. Put me up here, DJ. No, I just turned 50 January the 18th.
I'll be 49. I'll be 49 on this. I was born the 17th, the 7th month, 17th day, 76. I got 3 7.
Can I tell you something about your 7? And you're not going to add me to your group unless I sit on number 1. Listen to me. I stopped using heavy profanity. I separated from my husband on July 1st, 2022. I stopped using the B word, S word, MF word, the heavy artillery, because I used to get down with the damn it, get down, and you better know it. On July 17th, I stopped just like that. So we do have a date in common that I'm sure your wives don't have, and that's the 17th is my day.
Hey, listen, somebody's asking if you do you have the link? So I think they want to join, but I wanted to show this real quick about the airports. Could you click? You know how to share the link on your thing? I think someone wants to say something. I'm gonna play this. Go ahead and do that.
Which link?
Picture this. You're walking into one of America's busiest.
I think that you somebody is saying Addie.
Just drop your link there.
No, it won't allow me to drop the link into your chat. It only allows me to drop it into mine. So you have to copy and paste the link. Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. So let's check this out, you guys.
Busiest airports, but it's quiet, like eerily quiet. No long TSA lines, no crowds rushing to the gates, just empty chairs, empty corridors, and that weird echo you only hear in movies right before something big happens. And no, this isn't some old clip from 2020. This is right now, in 2025. And what's happening? Tourism is crashing, like actually crashing. Flights canceled. Hotel rooms are sitting vacant. Cities that used to be packed with tourists, ghost towns. At first, you're thinking, okay, maybe it's just a slow day. But nah, the numbers are insane. We're talking billions of dollars in losses, millions of visitors just not coming. And it's not just one reason either. There's politics, global tension, safety fears. It's like a perfect storm that nobody saw coming this bad. And the craziest part? Almost nobody's talking about it. But today, we are. Because what's really happening behind these empty terminals might actually change how America does tourism for years. And if you stick around, I'm breaking it all down. Who's not coming, why it's happening, who's getting hurt, and what happens next. So hit that like button, smash subscribe if you're new, and let's dive straight into this mess. All right, let's step back for a second and really take this in. Because what's happening right now isn't just a slow travel season. This is something much bigger. Airports across America, usually buzzing with travelers this time of year, are eerily empty. At LAX, terminals that should be packed with international arrivals feel like ghost towns. At JFK, you can practically hear your own footsteps echo through the hallways. And Vegas, you could roll your suitcase straight through without weaving around crowds. It's honestly surreal. But here's where it gets serious. The latest numbers show that international arrivals are down by over 14% compared to last year. And that number might not sound huge at first, but in the world of tourism, that's catastrophic. Behind that number are billions of dollars vanishing from the economy. We're talking about as much as $20 to $21 billion in lost revenue this year alone. That's not just a few canceled vacations. That's entire industries getting hammered. Hotels are reporting vacant rooms, restaurants are seeing empty tables, theme parks are running lighter than usual, and local businesses that rely on tourists they're hurting. Every 1% dip in tourism costs about $1.8 billion. Multiply that by 14, and you start to see just how deep this crisis runs. And the scary part? This isn't a one-off bad month. This could be the worst summer for American tourism since the pandemic lockdowns. All right, so we know tourism's in trouble, but let's get into the actual numbers, because this is where it gets even crazier. It's not just a small drop here and there. We're seeing serious declines across the board. Let's start with Canada, usually one of America's biggest sources of international tourists. This year, flights from Canada to the US have dropped by a staggering 71% to 76% on some routes. 76%. That's not a slowdown. That's a free fall. Europe isn't looking much better. Flights from Western Europe, places like Germany, the UK, France, are down between 17% and 28%, depending on the route. Even travelers from South America are pulling back, with some markets seeing about a 10% drop in traffic. And here's the kicker. It's not just international visitors staying away. American travelers themselves are cutting back too. TSA checkpoint numbers, which have been growing steadily since the pandemic, just saw their first real decline in years. Fewer people are flying domestically this summer, plain and simple. Why? Well, part of it's the economy. People are feeling the pinch. Airfare is expensive, hotels are pricey, and with inflation still biting, families are tightening their budgets. One Reddit user put it perfectly. When people are financing burritos, a trip to Disney just isn't happening this year. So yeah, the numbers aren't just bad. They're brutal. And we're just getting started. All right, so what's actually driving this huge drop? Because it's not just one simple reason. It's a perfect storm. First up, politics. Let's be real. International relations have been tense lately. The U.S. has gotten into trade disputes with multiple countries. There's been a lot of tough rhetoric flying around. And honestly, that stuff matters more than you'd think when it comes to tourism. For example, Canada, one of our biggest neighbors, issued travel warnings earlier this year, warning citizens about safety risks when visiting the U.S. Same with the UK and even China. And when governments start telling their citizens to think twice before visiting, guess what?
Yeah, we got to pause. They go too far. They go so much in my head because you know me. I told y'all I did a video on Kevin Samuels. He did a 60-second short, and I turned it into 59 minutes. So I hate when we do it like, well, I don't hate when we do it like this, but I got to deal with it. But I mean, this man says so much stuff, and I agree with every bit of what he's saying. I would rather us start shifting this economy back the way it need to be than for nobody to understand what it's going to take if we don't shake the lands right now for our kids to really, 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 really see that they don't have to work as hard as we did. Everybody's so scared, but it's going to always go back to the truth, whether you like it or not. If I ask anybody on this stage one question, and you only get one answer, that's a yes or a no. Do you agree with illegal immigrants? Yes or no, Prince? Prince?
You got to unmute.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The only thing about what you're saying is that they're canceling all the flights. That means
let me get my question out. I just want my answers. Do you agree with illegal immigrants, Prince?
No.
Do you agree with illegal immigrants, Bobble?
No.
Do you agree with illegal immigrants for the 18th time, DJ?
No.
I, Queen, do not agree with illegal immigrants. So if we all on the same page with illegal immigrants, what's the problem if we're getting rid of the immigrants to make them come back in here legal right now, to get them out of here illegally?
That is not what that conversation about the airports is about. You're talking about two different things.
No, I'm not. All of it is going to go back to money. And you're talking about price hikes. You're talking about this. You're talking about that. It will always go back to money if you don't get lost in the conversation. It's always going to go back to money. It's going to go back to money because if you start getting the illegals out of here, do you not understand how you're going to shift things back over? That means all the illegal immigrants that's been undercutting you and going to undercut your children until you get things under control. How are they going to ever be able to find the jobs that they need to have here? How are you going to get paid what you need to get paid instead of getting paid $10 an hour for a job that you know is worth $18 an hour. But long as the illegal immigrants are here, they don't have anything to keep trail of. So that means you're getting undercut. But if you get that out the way, shift everything back over, you will see owners of companies and corporations paying you what you're worth. You're not getting paid what you're worth right now. And I don't understand what's the issue if we're getting rid of illegal.
Okay, so let me just speak my issue and what I'm seeing. Okay, what I'm seeing is that a collapse. Okay, I'm seeing a collapse in the airline industry.
See that.
Hold on, let me speak. Okay, there's a collapse in the airline industry. That means there's going to be less flights canceling, airlines going down, people not being able to fly here and there, travel as need be from country to country, even within the country. If these airlines are like then begin to collapse these airports. I mean, do you see what I mean? Am I wrong about this? I mean, that's what I'm seeing. I wanted to show that because I know that brother Mighty Hebrew is in another country, right? So imagine you try to get to the airport and all the flights are canceled to even come into America to see your family, or the flights going out are canceled because there's not enough people on the flight to even warrant it to be able to get back to Tanzania. And the thing is that
the illegal people. So you're saying keep the illegals here then?
That's not no. What I'm saying is that listen, in order to get onto a flight and come into America, you have to have a visa. The illegals are coming. Hold on, excuse me. No. We were talking about. I brought up the flights because I was trying to shift the conversation into like how, because this is called the decline of America. This is what the thing is called. So we talked about illegals, but my main point is not really only about illegals, but also like how things are kind of beginning to disintegrate the actual structure that we have. If you have like a $14 billion industry tank, how is that going to affect travel throughout, and things like that? How is that going to affect us economically? Not just about illegals. Illegals, we've already been there, done that, beat that thing with a bat. I just even showed how, because Dr. Claude Anderson talked about how illegals were going to come into this country and wrap themselves into our suffrage and say that they were the ones that were and try to like get all of our benefits. That's not the conversation. The conversation is the decline of America. So I'm showing how the airports are now beginning to decline. So I'm trying to ask Baba, you and Prince, based on that video I just showed about the airports, what is your thoughts on that? Not so much about illegals, because illegals, they'll come in and have a visa. If they overstay their visa, that's another thing. But to come into America and tourism and things like that, and how that's plummeting throughout the United States, like, isn't that a huge issue? And what do you think about that from an economic standpoint?
Let Baba speak, because he haven't spoken in a while. So where do you get out of that, Abba? Where you at, Abba?
You there, Baba? Go ahead.
I apologize. I got some work going on in my house, and they wanted me to come see it. I'm getting a walk-in shower put in. I had an accident the other day and fell in the tub. So we're eliminating that problem.
No.
No,
Good.
that's how you do. When you get a problem, rather than talk about it, you eliminate it. I like what the guy was saying a while ago, and that was good. Now, fill me on what I missed. I'm a little out of breath. I've been all.
I just showed like the airports, how they're collapsing. Tourism is down. They're closed. The airports are empty right now. They're canceling flights. That means coming in and out the country, canceling flights to different countries, canceling flights coming in and coming out. And they're saying that the whole airline industry is beginning to collapse because tourism, even going to like Disney. Now that's something that's not even having to do with it, like with immigrants coming into the country and like being able to enjoy like, tourism that like pumps money into the economy, but also us traveling to like say Disney World. People are keeping their money in their pockets right now. They're saying, bump Disney World this summer. So all this is like really affecting the airports. There's a decline. Flights are canceling. There's not enough people on the flights. It's not enough people to say, let's do this flight right now. So that means that you can go to the airport, think you got a flight canceled because there's not enough people on that flight. You know what I'm saying? So this is what's happening because we're talking about the decline of America. So now we're beginning to see that these bills and the things that are being like put into action, we're starting to see things start to like have its effect. That's why I wanted to show that.
Let me say this, and you can bring up everybody back on screen. There is nothing new under the heavens. How many of y'all remember a guy by the name of Alan Greenspan?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He told you
Yes.
all that back in his book, The Age of Turbulence. He talked about this already. I got the book and I read it. Everything you seeing is in the guy's book. All this stuff is orchestrated. And that's the sad thing about it. We and Goddess, and I like to use Goddess, 6'2". See, the thing about it, and I like what you said because you said it's true, you know. But the thing about it is that corporations have benefited so much money off illegal immigrants.
That exactly. That's why they come.
And what they did, they told us that we got some new niggas.
Mm-hmm.
See, I've been through that. I know the time when we was whites and blacks in the cotton field together, poor whites, and we was out in the field together. Then the Mexicans started coming in. And they replace one, they keep a buffer between the blacks and the elite white. And those buffers are all time the things they use to distract us from the objective. Because one time, all the niggas getting a job. Well, one time we did. We had the bail house, the cab companies, we did all that stuff. We got to chasing them for Wall Street, and the Mexicans or Hispanics or whatever begin to come in and benefit doing it at half price. You got big corporations hiring these people for cheap wages for bigger profits, and they're going to feed it. It wasn't us, it was them that said that.
Exactly.
That's still a part of white supremacy and racism. Any of y'all familiar with a guy by the name of Neely Fuller? You're not familiar. His name is Neely Fuller. He was a good friend of Francis Cress Welsing. Look at his story on white supremacy and racism. The man nailed it. Dick Gregory nailed it. These guys have nailed it. They taught us this. We're looking in the wrong place for love. We need to go back, and I've got to give the goddess her prop on that.
Thank you.
You got to understand what illegal is and what legal is.
Thank you.
You know, and once we understand the definition, we're able to dissolve it. But now the problem is this: when you throw a net in the water to catch fish, you catch one kind of fish, you catch all kind of fish.
Come on there, you better know it. Okay.
And that's the problem we're having now. You catching all kinds of nets, you gotta separate the stuff. And the danger of that is we don't know what we're looking for.
There you go. But we're gonna find something. Something gonna come up. Yeah, you better know it.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, what is our agenda?
Yep.
Do we have an agenda?
And I want to say something to you too, Bob. I appreciate you backing me on that. I definitely do. Because sometimes I get a little emotional with expressing my feelings, especially when it's strong. And I know it leads to the truth. And some people don't like that. But I wanted to go back to something that you said. Hey, Insatiable, how you doing?
All right.
Insatiable, he's in the chat.
Yeah, I feel just yeah.
Hey, Addie Bug.
Addie's here. She just joined.
Hey, Addie Bug, how you doing?
Yeah.
I'm doing good.
Well, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat.
Yes. So, Addie, you can join us. What I wanted to also say to you, Barbara, I heard earlier you was mentioning about, if I'm not mistaken, New Orleans. Was it New Orleans or Alabama? And you were saying, you know, whichever one of those was, I want to tell you, I'm getting very closely tied to both of those states. I'm closely tied to those states because I know we look at certain things and then other things that we don't. And I'm making my business and mission going forward to mention two cases. That's Anton Massey, who's over in New Orleans, and also Carmelo Anthony. But I basically want to talk about Anton Massey right now. He's one of the young men that escaped from the Orleans Parish Jail.
Right.
He came on. I said, for a person who only had 30 months in prison, he put a whole, do you know what type of pressure that is? Not on a man's head. Do you know what kind of pressure that is on a person's head to escape, go and do a viral video saying that something is wrong. They're mistreating us. They not this, they not that. And we can talk about the case another time. But I just wanted to say to you that I feel so passionate about what this young man says, and nobody's gonna take it. Long as my hands show long lines like this, and I know nobody. Long as I know I'm amongst the 1% in the world that hold these two lines, and I look for nothing but the truth, and I'm gonna get it. It's something going on in New Orleans, and they are attached to Alabama. And it's something about this young man that I'm going to see him while he's in there. I'm going to see him when he's out. And I'm going to do just like Trump is doing. Trump is nibbling at the bottom. And sometimes when you nibble and you nitpick, you will start breaking down walls and barriers till you'll get to a point of nibbling where you don't got to nibble no more. You only need to watch it crumble, because at that point, it ain't no more support there. And something about that, I feel like people need to pay more attention. You never know what's really owned by blacks in that state. Something is wrong, because it's the highest prison system in the world.
Louisiana.
And this young man put his whole life on the line, not for 30 months. He got time served. He just did 14 years. He would have did his time. He's trying to expose something, and they're pushing him under the rug. And I'm going to get to the bottom of it. So I feel like that's something to be spoke about, and that's something to be rallied for, because there's something going on there. You mentioned somebody being hypnotized. It's like they're under something. And one day I got this discernment in me that say, man, I got to make sure before I tread them waters, I got to make sure I'm fully protected. And to be fully protected, you got to walk, because is something over there.
Goddess, Louisiana is the highest incarceration of any state in the United States. Where I live at, I'm in a town of 81.1% African American. We got 4 damn prisons in this town. It's a prison operated town.
Come on.
It's the biggest employer of employees in this area. The whole thing is ran by corporate, is run by private individuals, and the governor and his buddies are the key components that owns these prisons.
Wait, Baba, you're in New Orleans?
No, I'm in Louisiana, which is
same thing. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in Tallulah. If you pull up Tallulah, we have 4 prisons here, and that and everybody gets shipped in from all over Louisiana to get them out of their areas. And they ship the guys out of here down to New Orleans.
And don't they have like the plantation kind of like prisons where you have to work on
Angola is in
Louisiana.
Angola is in Louisiana.
That's the largest prison, the Angola. That's where they just shipped Anton Massey to. Not only is it the largest prison, Angola.
Okay, well, Angola don't need no guards, and you ain't gonna get away.
Because listen, isn't that the one where they built it on top of a plantation?
Yes.
I want it brought down.
The problem with that but now remember, you got Angola, Africa too. You got Angola, Africa too, you know. But now Angola, Angola, matter of fact, I don't want to get off and all of that, but Angola is the largest, and they farm their own farm. They do everything right there on the plantation. It's one of it produces more cotton and everything. But the thing about it, when you get to Angola, you get away. It's lucky, because if the gators don't get you, the bears are gonna get you.
Because what is it, like 88,000 square feet or something like that? I know I looked them up.
Acres.
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 I meant to say acres. Not no
acres.
Not no puts.
Acres, baby. Yeah, because I'm right down the road from there, baby.
I need you.
I'm right down the road. I'm right down the road.
Something my spirit is just sending me there. This Anton Massey, when I looked in his eyes, I feel like I prayed him right on in. Because if you go back and watch my live from that Thursday before he came in, I did a live and I put his face on the screen, because I felt like when I looked at him, I felt like I clapped him. And I said that I let him know, I said, you could go in, because I tried my best to get there because I wanted to go. And I said, if he knows someone is standing in front of the door because he don't trust his family.
No.
And I'm ready to go toe to toe with them because they have not protected him. But I feel they're holding so many secrets there. And I am eager. I'm anxious to get to the bottom of it. I don't know why.
Well, the thing about it, when you come in here, that there is some let me say this, it's some occultic roots that drive deep in here. We got a lot.
Hey, real quick, can you make me into a mod real quick on your channel, because we got to like get rid of some people just talking crazy in the chat.
Okay. So anyway, that's what
on your chat.
I'm in Tallulah, Louisiana. I'm
yeah,
right
we got to get the haters off.
Yeah,
they hate. They hate.
Yeah, you don't want. You got a warning on your thing, and because he said some weird. I think he spammed something, or I don't know what's going on.
Who? My Nightbot. You talking about my
Night? Mighty Hebrew. How embarrassing.
Wait, no, please. You can just please go on. That's my Nightbot. That's my new muscle. So listen, he talking about the Mighty Hebrew sent me some emojis. So the my Mighty Bot, you spamming us with all those emojis, Hebrew. Stop it.
No, he don't know that. He don't know that he's on the actual panel with you right now.
No, he know he's already.
Okay, all right. I was saying you about to listen. Nightbot was about to get canceled.
No,
okay, I'm sorry.
But if you notice,
your muscle,
your
muscle ain't no joke.
No,
I'm the Mighty Hebrew. Yeah, I'm the Mighty Hebrew.
Listen, let me tell you, Mighty. Let me tell you what happened. I do a men only live, and so on my men only live, my men come in and he start coming in the chat, and every one of them start arguing. However, when now, like Insatiable is here, he's not arguing. That's why he let it go, because they're used to it now. Because they started off fighting and bustling and busting. I'm like, ignore the new muscle.
Oh man.
All right, listen. Addie Bug has been waiting really patiently. I know that she came here. She wanted to say, "Can you cam up, Addie Bug?" Or is it?
Come on, you unmute and come on in.
Come on, say what you come on.
Oh no, it's fine. Hey, Queen. So the whole case on like the P. Diddy stuff. So I didn't know that it had been over with until yesterday, and I was like, really? Like that's it? Like, because I was a little confused, because when I had heard about the P. Diddy case, I was like, oh crap, it's gonna go downhill. So someone's gonna get caught, And when I was sitting on the couch when I found out that the charges had been dropped, and I was like, well how? Because like there's a lot of evidence towards the P. Diddy case, and I'm very, very passionate with that case, because it just it just hit home a little bit,
Right.
So I was like, there's something. I think in my opinion, the case got dropped because he has money, because he's famous. So like, oh, we can't put him in jail because this and this is gonna happen. And they're not gonna do anything about it. It's gonna just keep happening and happening and happening. He's gonna get away with it.
That's interesting, Addie Bug. You came here with a twist to it. You came here with a twist to it, Addie Bug, because it was said on the stage that it seems like because he is a black man that the government attacked him because he have money. So how do you feel about it in your light?
It was, in my opinion, it's not because he's black. It's because he's a famous human being and he has the money. Just think about how many famous people have been put in court. Don't mind the blue gloves, I'm cleaning. It's because he has money. He's famous, and a lot of people are going to side with him. And so, with everything that's going on with the attacks, with the immigration stuff, they didn't want something to happen with that, like for the case for him, because a lot of people would retaliate if he went to prison. It's like that because of he's famous. A lot of people love him. A lot of people adore him. So they couldn't do it because of that.
That's how you feel. Okay.
Hey, are you cleaning the dog? What are you a dog cleaner?
No, I'm just cleaning my bathroom.
Oh, okay. I thought I was like, is it a dog? I was like, oh my god, 'cause, you know, it looks like a dog. You know how they clean them dogs on them things? I was like, is a dog there?
But I would like to tell you that she's also a part of my small channel. She entered her channel in there, which I call her my Yaya. She has a dog kennel. So we just I found that channel about a couple of weeks ago, and they entered into my small channel talent search. So she has a dog kennel and she breeds dogs. So maybe they'll be there on Friday at my premiere. Maybe you should come, and then you'll be able to see all the dogs and the videos that they have. I mean, it's not to be phenomenal.
Maybe she could train. Maybe she could train my dog because my
yes,
trainer.
Yes, let my
train.
Yaya. She can. My Yaya will show you that. She'll even train the dog and ship the dog to you.
But yeah, but let's not to get too far off subject.
Right.
I just really want to get into, so you know, even with the Diddy thing about is, I mean, we don't okay. I get the race aspect of it and how that could kind of like be like, okay, well, it's not about race, it's about this. But I would say this: when they have a certain law that they pass, like for instance, he did get like arrested, he did get charged those 2 charges. What happens is a legal precedent is set every time that a law, especially something that has not been has never happened before. Every time that these type of cases go through, what happens is what they call a legal precedence, and that's a way to be able to pass laws without actually going through Congress or any congressional like situation. So there's 2 ways to pass laws. There's through Congress. There's more than that. You know what I'm saying? Through Congress, through the Senate, and then there's like the law. So what happens with situations like this is that it'll get on the law books that, hey, this situation, it accounts for the ability to then put other people in prison based on the fact that this went through. So if he would have been able to get caught for the RICO on that, then anybody would be able to then do the same course of action, sue the person for money. Then the federal government can come in, find a way to connect the whole thing into a RICO. Like, so if you have a whole bunch of money, and that's, you know, Hollywood, whatever, Tyler Perry, whoever, then you have the ability to then say, okay, well, you're doing this with business money, you're doing that, you're doing this, and this is their personal. This was really P. Diddy's personal weird thing that he was doing. It wasn't like they were all saying that there were these parties that everybody was coming to. No, this was his own personal little creepy weird thing that he was doing in the hotel with his so-called girlfriends. And then it came out like this. But I can actually, I was going to either show a little bit of the snippet where we talked to one of the sex workers that he was involved in the whole thing. Now, I think it was right that he got charged with the prostitution charge and transporting prostitutes. However, there's an aspect of this where Cassie had immunity. So she's able to talk about all this stuff, but then got immunity for every part that she played into the situation. And then he got the full like crux of that he was wrong, but Cassie was asking for escorts, asking for the freak offs, getting high right along with him, asking to get pee put in her mouth, asking for all this, but then she gets the immunity part. And yeah, he did do that in the hotel. And then what Mighty Hebrew said, okay, well, this is what drug people do when they're high and on drugs and they get into fights and arguments. If you go to your local hotel and sit there long enough, the crackheads in that hotel, you're gonna find some kind of fight where they're gonna get into it, whatever, and they go back into the room and get high and get to doing it again. So
I just wanted to add to objectively, people can say like this wasn't a racist matter, but we know, the foundation of the United States has always been predicated on racism. I'm not saying like everybody that were players that were involved in bringing or trying to bring Puff down are racist. I'm saying the system itself is predicated on racism. The bedrock and the social fabric of America is predicated on racism. And we know that racism isn't like just a statement, but it's predicated on institutions of higher learning. So when we start talking about the Mann Act, we know what the Mann Act was created for. This was to stop black men for dealing with white women and crossing state lines. And we all know that this was predicated on the late Jack Johnson. And when we look at Puff and his whole situation, we gotta stop, playing these games. And I'm not saying the guests that's on the show. I'm generalizing. We have to stop with giving participants the label of victim. Okay, we got to stop that because she's a woman. You know what I'm saying? No, the reality is Cassie was a part of that situation. Jane Doe or 50 Cent's baby mother was a part of that. And the other participants were a part of it as well. What they did was they publicly humiliated him with a lot of false accusations. So the public opinion they would have this disdain for him. For instance, they gave y'all this impression that he was molesting all these children. I'm saying, where are these children at? You said that he molested a 9-year-old boy. Where is that 9-year-old boy at? Where is the spiked baby oil that y'all said that, y'all got this 1,000 bottles of baby oil? It's supposed to have been spiked with some type of drug that had knocked them out. You understand what I'm saying? Where is that at? Where's the dungeons at that you claim was in P. Diddy house? And these women that said, because they did some live, DJ Genesis know about this, some of these women did live presentations saying that they were locked in P. Diddy's dungeons. And I'm saying, where are these women at today? You know what I'm saying? This is what was used to demonize him. But then when we get into the quote unquote court of law and look at the case, none of this happened. Even when you look at the 100+ lawsuits that's supposed to have been put, on this man, why is it they use Cassie and because she was the primary witness, or said witness that they gave immunity to. When you give somebody immunity, that means that they were involved in something. This is crazy. This is like, this is the difference from us and them. In our society and our culture, you can't take a person that's a part of the criminal act and make them a witness to get a criminal. No, they both was criminals in that retrospect, if we're going to say it like that. So getting back to what I'm saying, they gave Cassie immunity to turn coat, or she became a rat to turn coat on P. Diddy. That's what she is. She's a rat. My thing is this: any type of rule of engagement that you're involved in, there's rules. Whether you're talking about street, I'm from the streets of North Philly. Before I changed my life 34 years ago, I played that street, mentality. So there's rules involved. And when you playing in that field, if you get caught, keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. I'm in the Hebrew Israelite culture now. So there's rules of engagement. If you violate certain rules, there are penalties. In any society that you're involved in, there are rules of engagement. So what I'm saying is this: from the information I read and from the research that I've seen, Cassie was not a victim. You cannot say, I was raped in August, but in October you asking the man to urinate on you. Like that's to stop playing these games and keep it real. This was a money grab. And you know what? Karma is a motherfucker, because what she about to show, DJ Genesis about to show, is the same thing that you did, Cassie, to P. Diddy. Now this man is doing to you. So it's like you've been involved. You said, and I'm talking about Cassie, you said in Texas how you would unalive people / body them, if they were openly exposed, your dark secrets. So this is not victims. How is Jane Doe a victim when to this day Puff Daddy is paying $10,000 a month for her home? These weren't victims. These were participants that became falsified to the world as victims. So now everything is being put out in the open. What do we say now? So now in the United States, do we lock people up because of their behavior or because they
I
broke
was
the
made
law? So go ahead, DJ Genesis, play what you gonna play, and then
My bad. I was trying. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was trying to see if there was another video.
I just want to make it clear that yes, racism was involved, and it will always be involved when you're dealing with successful Black men and women, no matter if they're good people or bad people. The United States judicial system was never designed for the justice for Black people in the United States. Never. So there's always going to be a racist underhand because of the fact that it's built on racism. The whole United States government and system and everything that's involved is racism when you talk about the foundation of it. So we can't act like, oh, there's no racism when there is. You know what I mean?
But hold on. What about the fact that Cassie is a Black woman? Cassie is a Black woman, right? Is she a Black woman?
When you ever see a man get denied bail for transporting, women across state lines? Come on. And the charge that he got, it's predicated on consent, not by force. So you mean to tell me that man couldn't get bail? So we gotta really look at these things very carefully, and we gotta see who's involved. And all I'm saying is that no matter if the people are good or bad, anytime Black people have some form of generational wealth, destruction comes, and we can't act like this isn't happening. We can't act like this isn't coincidental. And I also agree with Queen 662. I also agree with her that a lot of these men put themselves in these situations because they following after a white slave master, thinking, oh, master do this, I can do this. Hugh Hefner did it, I can do it. Elvis Presley did it, I can do it. Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Beastie Boys, and all of them did it, so I can do it. We not on the same playing field. So certain things that the enemy do, we cannot do. We don't have that leverage because we are captives fighting against our own liberation. So that's all I wanted to say on that note. But you can play what you need to play, DJ Genesis.
Double standards. We live with in double standards.
And basically kept on standby for every time Cassie needed to come. And I only got less than $5,000 one time, and that's the time Diddy drugged me. He gave me $1,500 to go home because I was completely drugged out of my face off something he gave me. But every other time I got $5,000. The time with Daniel Phillip and winning this orgy, I think I got like $11,000 in total from winning the orgy, then coming back and dusting it off again. I had an extensive history with Cassie. I see your face. You're like, oh my God, yeah.
How many hours did you go?
It was 4 days in Miami.
Well, you have sex for 4 days. Do you stop to pee? Do you take breaks? What happens?
Yeah.
With the 4 days?
It's kind of like, something, people don't realize something. Diddy is rich. He's as rich as a king. I don't know if you've ever seen the HBO TV series, Rome. They were smoking opium. They had a bunch of slaves in there that she was sleeping with that had larger members than Mark Anthony. This is what a freak off really was. I was made to be completely naked, baby oil, and basically kept on standby for every time Cassie needed to come. And I would be called to make her come. I didn't have to eat her vagina. I didn't have to kiss her, even though she kissed me, which is disgusting now that I know she was letting people urinate in her mouth. But this is the whole point of Oh my God, man. Oh my God. I saw Sean Combs' member. It's not big. So I believed Cassie when she said, yo, listen, my husband has a small penis. I'm hiring you because you can satisfy me. He likes to watch. I'm 3 times larger than him, I would probably say, just off a glance. I never had a sexual relationship with him. I need to say that.
Did he have a micro penis or something?
He just was small. He big pockets, little member. That's just what it was, man. He big pockets, and women don't care. No disrespect. Women don't care when you got a lot of money. Listen, you got a lot of money. We can get around that. He got enough money. She was a young, horny girl. She liked to have sex. And this was the arrangement. He took her around. They would have these free
Stop
She was
it
into
for a
this bigger
second.
lifestyle.
Stop it, DJ Genesis. Stop it for a second. So we hearing out of this person's mouth the character of this woman. And I want to say this to a couple people in the audience. Y'all got to get out of y'all emotions. This is not about the man being a creep. We all know that the dude is a creep. That's not the point. We're talking about the law. Like Nino Brown said in New Jack City, it's the law. You know, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You know what I'm saying? Either we're going to deal with so-called justice or we not. I don't care about P. Diddy's orientation. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about what is stated in the law. Was there a RICO conspiracy? Yes or no? The answer is no. If there was a RICO conspiracy, give us the name of the organization and the criminals involved. You cannot impose RICO on one person. That's dumb. Anybody that understands federal law and understand how the RICO Act came about to take down the Costa Nostra and other different Italian mafia organizations from, you know, you're talking about the Gambinos, all them different type of people, then we will understand better. Yeah, we will understand better the RICO conspiracy. If you're talking about, you know, this was by force, I'm saying, well, how's these things by force when we have out of her own mouth Texas voice clippings out of her own mouth after the fact that she allegedly, and I'm talking about Cassie, claimed to have been great, going back to this man, back and forth to this man, having inappropriate sexual appetites with this man.
But hold on, let me just say this. Hold on, because domestic abuse survivors do go back. Addie wanted to say something real quick.
I know. Let me just finish my thought. I have no problem with that. I'm talking about we got to look at her whole psychological makeup, not just this one domestic dispute that we seen. And furthermore, he was not charged with domestic violence. He wasn't. We talking about, you can't take somebody doing something, but it don't have nothing to do with the case.
No, but you asked why would she come back after being raped? But if she was
if that's the case, we have eyewitness testimonies of Cassie before she was even dealing with Puff, that she was already snorting cocaine and dealing with older men before she was even dealing with Puff. So when she was modeling and all that, so she already had these appetites and habits before she even met Puff. So we got it like, she don't get no pass. She don't get no pass. And I'm saying this, we didn't hear anything about this until this lawsuit came out. And then we don't even get the full truth. What they give us is an image of Puffy running this woman down in the hotel. But we don't get the backdrop of the story until after the trial or during the trial, that she tried to steal the man's cell phone, take $100,000. What was in that bag was $100,000 and some jewelry. And we don't know their story, that we don't know Puff be hitting on her, she be hitting on him. These were drug addicts, man. These were both.
Now, Mel, you know, who's been following the whole case, said that was a rumor. The thing about the 100,000, that she did have his phone, but not, there was that her bag was her clothes in it and things like that. Addie, I wanted to because I know she wanted to say something. I don't want her to.
I mean, I would have to see proof. I would have to see proof on that, because you got other people that see different. So I would have to see proof on that. And I'm saying we don't know what actually happened inside that hotel. We only see the after effect of something of him running. But again, he wasn't on trial for that. We got to stick with the charges. That's what we got to stick with, the charges. Anything else is irrelevant. And I want to give a shout out to the jury, because the jury, they did everything correct. They found the man not guilty on the things that they needed to find that man not guilty of. And when you talk about the Mann Act, the cross state lines for prostitution consensually, then that's showing that Cassie and they was involved in this stuff. I'm saying, why would this woman be texting this man like, Oh, baby, we need to do another freak off. I mean, these was explicit text messages. This is not a thing where just a woman is just being brainwashed. This is a woman that was deeply involved in this occult-like behavior. So she don't get no pass. And now what the Most High Yahweh is doing is exposing her hand by now witnesses coming out, testifying now against her now. So my thing is, for all the energy that y'all had on Puff, now y'all should have that same energy when all these lawsuits start dropping on Cassie. Y'all should have the same energy. Don't have the energy on Puff, but when it come to her now, y'all just silent. Y'all see the lawsuit against her. Y'all see what that man saying about that woman. Why y'all not coming at her? So there's something in our brain that have us not speak out against wicked women. You got wicked men involved in this. You got wicked women involved in this too. You know what I'm saying? So that's not play game. So she's not a victim. She's not a victim at all.
All right. So go ahead, Addy Bug. I'm sorry. We're gonna go through Addy Bug, then Negro Ralph. I'm not apologizing for anything. I'm just saying like I gotta get everything in order. I'm organized. So all right. So go ahead, Addy.
You're fine. So again, I do apologize because when I apologize in advance, sometimes my tone of voice changes, and I do apologize. I mean no disrespect to anything I say. Just want to clarify that. I do apologize. So, I don't necessarily agree, and I have a few reasons. I have read things about Cassie. Cassie, am I saying that right? Cassie, I think yeah.
Cassie, yeah.
About thank you about her past, and the things that I've read is that in her past she was a survivor of rape. I don't know from what, it's just what I've read on the internet. She was so, you already have that kind of mentality. Like, it's a response. Like you said, it's a response to go back. And that's how a lot of rape cases do happen. Unfortunately, sometimes nobody will say anything because they're too afraid to. And unfortunately, that's what happens. Now, am I saying like, it was right, wrong, whatever? No. I'm just saying that we shouldn't completely disfact that was he said we don't know what happened. We don't know what happened, what was done. We don't know that. We only have certain pieces of evidence, but we don't consider the fact that she could have already had that mentality, so she was afraid to walk away from Diddy. There was some type of response that just she couldn't, or she feared. And there's a lot of people who think the same way from what I've read, I've seen on videos. Now, am I saying that on either side were either of it right? No. Am I siding with either one of them? No, because I don't have the full story. So how can I side with somebody if I don't have the full story? I don't have the full, all the more evidence than what they gave us. So thank you for letting me speak. That's all I gotta say.
All right, Negro Ralph.
What's going on, y'all? Peace to the panel.
Peace to the panel.
I'm gonna sound a little ghetto with this, but I'm gonna sound righteously ghetto with this, spiritually correct as possible. In America, we gotta stop making it seem like we're doing this to be like the oppressor. We're doing this off what America was built upon. This is not something that America fully has started, but everybody knows when you have a man or a woman of great power, they're allowed to do just about somewhat of anything, and that's what comes with power. But that goes against, or goes with, excuse me. I was over here drinking a little soda. Goes with, morality. Some people fight against being moral, or they want to be unjust. We gotta look at Cassie as, or we gotta start looking at people as, you can't get paid off for mistreatment. Bad. Oh, you beat me in a relationship. I need to get a paycheck. That's corny. It should be business wise why you getting paid. If I didn't damage your car, I didn't take from your company, if I haven't stole anything, that's the only way you should be suing with defamation of character. No character was defiled here. With the law has to understand that women should have equally be penalized like men for lying, sexual assault, misconduct of your own body. Because they penalize men for having too many children. The law can actually state that you're not allowed to have any more children. They need to put that on women as well. You can't have any more children if you constantly want to abort and kill life, or you want to keep bringing life into the world and you can't manage it. That should be a crime against that. You shouldn't be able to be getting money for a physical assault. Hold on, y'all. I'm on the just calm it down a little bit. I'm on a live, but I'm almost done. Yeah, it smell good, right? But yeah. So anytime that there's injustice in the justice system, it needs to be corrected by the people, and we need to blame more men, because a lot of times the men are the ones to help carry this on with these women. We sipping for them, we crying out for them. You shouldn't have to cross states and borderlines for fun. It sounds good, it's your personal thing, but what does the law benefit for you to lose everything you have because someone wants to decide to lie? So that's what I want to say. And Cassie's downright disgusting, and she should at least be facing life and racketeering as well.
Oh my God. I agree. I agree, because it's wrong to like give a person immunity, let them spout off all this stuff, and then on top of that, like everything that they did is just out of the question. And I don't think there should be a such thing as immunity. I think that's crazy.
Right.
So
she's a rat. She's a rat. They gave a rat immunity. That's what they did.
It shouldn't matter if she's a rat or not. If the point is that she doesn't benefit the community showing those types of actions. You should be able to tell certain things if it's going to benefit and help. But if you're a stone cold liar and a more than a 50% or 80% cooperator, or you're even just the underboss of it, you should get what your boss is getting, because you had just as much as hand.
She's picking up the
That's a fact. I'm only saying rat. I'm only saying rat just to make it clear that most of these people that get immunity is because they was a part or like the brother Negro Ralph is saying, they were co-conspirators with the so-called boss, and now they getting immunity for ratting. So not only is she a liar, that Negro Ralph is saying, she's also a rat. And I said earlier, and I'll say it again, any organization that you involved in, good or bad, there's rules of engagement. You know what I'm saying?
Even in the mafia, when there was rats.
Yeah. Listen,
in the mafia, it was not looked up upon to be a rat in the mafia. Like when you was in the mafia and they were taking down them people, those people were demonized in the community. They were not.
Like come on, this generation.
You had something to do with it too. You had something to do with it too.
Right.
So the rat.
How in the heck do you get immunity?
That's why I say the rat the case is not really that important. It's the fact that you are now a part of this. You should never, you know what I'm saying? And you have more cooperation almost than Diddy. Is more if you have more handouts, more everything has been done with you and it's consistently done with you, but you traumatized and have not reported. The only thing Diddy should be arrested for or not arrested for real, he should probably be on a probation. It's for beating up in public. That's it. But in my eyes, she deserves.
And I would agree. And I would agree with that if they charged him for that.
Yeah.
See, they never charged. You see what I'm saying? We only can go by what they charged him with. Anything else? Remember, she took that bag. You took that 30 million for getting your ass whooped. And remember, we only seen the outcome. We didn't see what caused it. And again, I'm not condoning no man putting their hands on no woman. But at the end of the day, we really don't know what happened that led to that. The only thing
I condone it. If you beat that woman righteously, I condone it, because you should not have the right to hit and harm me. 8 pounds of pressure can knock my head off, and I'm not advocating for beating no woman, but I'm advocating for discipline. If you can spank your child, you can spank your wife. Maybe somebody should be able to spank me. God should punish me as well. Somebody who can. So I'm not far from getting my hands put on either. You know what I'm saying? So righteousness is righteous. You know what I'm saying? So
I definitely understand.
Even the dog gotta get it sometimes. So if you taking 500,000, I'm hitting you in your head. Like, this is something I earned. You ain't stealing from me.
Bro, Ralph, I'm trying to be politically correct, but the reality is 100%.
Reality has to set in somewhere.
That's the truth.
DJ Genesis is not gonna let me grab her purse without fighting back, are you?
No.
That means you gave it up. So if you're not gonna give it up, you got to show some fight back. So if you knock me upside the head, if I can't beat you, I'm trying to do something as far as call the police, protect my safety, or at least get back at you.
Now we can't, but we can't also but you know what? I did hear from the actual the sex worker that talked about the fact that, hey, Cassie was the one who went out and found the people. She picked them out. P. Diddy was mainly trying to appease her because she was recruiting the sex workers. I mean, this is what was said.
Yeah, she was just being freaky. Like
and from what it sounded, and I think that it sounded to me like that Diddy was very insecure about his member. And so what happened is that, like, just so that she could be pleased, he would go ahead and hire her, but with the whole thing of, I'll be in control of the situation. Do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. Do this, just so he could feel in control, but also be able to, like, jay off at the same time, which is some weird stuff too. You know what I'm saying? But that whole thing. But Baba, do you have something you want to say?
Yeah, I want to say this. With technology where it is, if he want his John increase, go and see the plastic surgeon and have it put that rod in it, get it where he wanted to get it. he had the money. He had the money.
Baba, man.
Look, you guys, I'm gonna tune in. I'm gonna step down for a little bit.
Man, Baba's 79 years old. Told him to go ahead and get an implant in. Come on, Baba. That's crazy.
But now what I want to say is this.
Baba wild. Baba wild. Look, Baba out of pocket saying that. Come on now. You said he want to get it longer. He get the pump.
But do you hear? Yo, DJ Genesis, you need to go back and finish playing what that man was saying about Cassie. Go back, because you didn't finish playing it all. Finish playing that, because you got to hear what this man is saying. This man said that P. Diddy had a small, and she I'm only telling you what I heard from some people, that she like it very large, and she's heavy into anal sex and different stuff like that. These are the things that she liked. So
why did she call Clarence Thomas?
They were swingers. They were drug addicts. Swingers and Abby was saying, she got raped in the past. Maybe something did happen to her in the past. We don't know. The thing that kills me is every time people's secrets come out, they always say, okay, so if Cassie got raped in the past, we could talk about Puff Daddy, because there was massive rumors that Puff Daddy was groomed when he was a kid by his mother/aunt. They try to remember, y'all.
I heard he also got groomed by Andre Harrell, by Clive.
Right. Yeah, Quincy Jones. But let's talk about his mother. And no disrespect, but I'm telling y'all, what y'all all seen it. Remember, they put out there that wasn't his real mother, right? That was his aunt. And that his real mother died, and that was his aunt, and his aunt/mother been having sex with him since he was a child. This is the information that they put out there. So if that's the case, then P. Diddy can say, oh, I was molested, I was groomed. See, you see how we can easily turn the tables. We can easily say the same thing about Puff. If we want to say that about Cassie, we can say the same thing about Puff. These were two adults. They were two. You cannot. No, you're not going to keep blaming your past. No.
So Addie wanted to say she had something to say.
Yeah, I just wanted to say they both were grown men and grown women. And I'm not coming at Abby and what she's saying. You know what I mean? She's making some strong points. I'm just generalizing it, and I'm saying, Cassie got that excuse, Puff got that excuse. But the reality is that they were both adults and they both were drug addicts together. They both were swingers together. They both was involved in these heinous, wicked, diabolical, grotesque freak acts at these freak parties. So they're both accountable for their own actions, and that's that.
Okay, Addie, you want to say something?
Yeah. Another thing, and now this is something that like I've always been told. We also can't cancel out the fact that they're gonna say whatever they need to also save their own asses. With all respect, they're gonna do that. That's how crap works in the world. On top of that, the people are only going to show us bits and pieces of it, so we won't get the whole truth. Diddy, and this is all due respect. Everybody does this. Let's be honest. Diddy's gonna say what he has to say, also to save his own butt ass. All with respect. Um, Cassie's gonna say whatever she needs to say to save her own ass. It's just a mental thing that everybody does. So we can't leave that out either. And also the fact that yeah, they both have had really bad past, but on top of that, it's an action that they both made and it affected them. It was a cause and effect. The outcome. It's what happened, and now they're doing all this stuff, and they're only gonna say what they need to say. You know, some of it could not be true, and they could be making it up, so the other person gets more time or whatever. You can't leave that out as well. Also, that's all I had to say. So.
Let me say something real quick because I'm gonna tell you one of the cases where they was lying. Okay, and even when I actually look at other videos with people that talk about some of the things that the juror actually, I'm gonna show you some of what the juror said and how they felt. So let me just go over this. On top of the fact that Cassie and Jane, and I'm not sure if it's Jane Doe, but there was a whole discrepancy that happened where they said that he was dangling somebody off of the side of a roof or something or off of a balcony, right? They found actual text messages to where they were actually trying to say it was at my house because my house has a balcony. So Cassie and the other girl were plotting to say that he was dangling someone off the side of a roof or of a balcony. And then they were trying to figure out, and then they found out, where they said that he was dangling the person off of, he was in New York at the time. He wasn't in Las Vegas, or I think it was in Los Angeles or Las Vegas, where he was supposedly dangling somebody off of a roof or a balcony or whatever. And then there's a text message. So there is points to this where they were lying. Okay. And the juror and all of them were like, they are lying. Okay. That's the reason. So we had no idea that the whole jury was thinking this the whole time. That people were actually like plotting, like on some listen, you say it happened over here. No, maybe not over here. Maybe at my house. I have a balcony. That type of stuff. So it was some things going on behind the scenes that people were really trying to nail him to the cross. Now maybe it was because of the fact that hey, I'm mad because whatever, and I'm trying to get trying to get this money or whatever you're trying to do. But the bottom line is that, and I'm gonna show this one thing real quick with the guy that's talking about what happened in the situation. But then I'm gonna also bring up the juror and how he actually saw it and how the other jurors were seeing this, so you guys get a full perspective of this situation, because I think that we are very unclear about even how people that were even listening to this just in the courtroom. So hold on, let's look at this real quick. Let me make sure that everybody's here. Let me play this.
Walls. I know I'll never be able to ask her this question, but her vagina walls.
I don't want to make myself sound like I'm trying to aggrandize myself, but I used to, when Cassie and I would have sex, I would probably take less than 20 strokes to make her orgasm. I never orgasm really, because the problem was the fact that she's not tight and the baby oil. The baby oil was a problem. The baby oil kind of made sex impossible for a man to enjoy. Baby oil made a loose vagina looser than it needed to be. So it was literally like a constant it was like being in hell, being constantly tormented, like I was gonna have an orgasm, but never being able to have an orgasm because she wasn't tight enough to make me orgasm. But she's orgasming back to back. I mean, I'm in her 20 strokes. Oh my God, she's squirting all over the bed. And then I'm like, yo, can I get something? Oh, I need a second. I think there was a period where I had sex with Cassandra, and this is the truth. I don't think I had one orgasm in 6 months every time I met her.
Okay, so that was weird. Okay, so here's the thing. He was an optometrist. He really wasn't a sex worker. He was an optometrist that got hired to do this stuff. Let me play this one right here because I think he goes into some of the stuff. Let me speed it up so it doesn't because I'm not trying to like
That means she was getting piped. She was getting piped like crazy.
Yeah. If you're that loose and loosey goosey, yeah.
I am Dave.
She was looser than the goose.
For them at social media, and I see a lot of the women out there, particularly black women like myself, who choose to victim shame me and try to do everything they can to discredit me, because the truth is that the loss of the Sean Combs trial was a loss to the Me Too movement and to hating women like the women who are trying to insult me. So let me tell you something, you women out there who would like to insult me. This is my story. I was paid by Cassie, Cassandra Ventura, for 8 years to be her male provider. I didn't have to be the best looking guy. I was the best in bed. And because I was the best in bed, guess what? I was given this arrangement. I was coerced. I was drugged. I was manipulated with promises of money and gifts for over a period of 8 years to continue to be this woman's provider at her expense and at the expense of Diddy. Now, at the time, legally, I didn't know my rights as well as I do now. I didn't create this conflict with Cassandra Ventura. She created it with me. She's the one who decided to bring up things that happened over 10 to 15 years ago to hold Sean Combs accountable for what was a partial truth. She's the person who introduced me to the U.S. Attorney's Office. She's the person who told the U.S. Attorney's Office about our relationship. So in essence, those out there who want to hate on me, who want to say that I'm attacking Cassie, you should realize the truth, that Cassandra Ventura, your idol, did this to herself. She exposed herself to liability when she got on the stand and decided to mention me as the male escort who was with her when she overdosed and Diddy made her have sex with him. That was a lie, people. Cassie had just woke up from sleeping 8 hours. Myself and Sean Combs were exhausted. We wanted to go home. Cassie's the one who forced that sexual encounter. People, she tells you that Sean Combs made her have sex on her menstrual cycle. I can't speak for anyone else but myself. But I know the one time that did happen, that Sean Combs was not responsible for that Cassie, in a drunken, intoxicated, hormonally imbalanced state due to her period, manipulated and forced herself on me during her menstrual cycle. And what I mean by that is I had no knowledge she was on her menstrual cycle because the room was completely dark. She manipulated the room. She manipulated the environment to get what she wanted, and then she totally got up like I was the one who should have been grateful. You're on your period. That's disgusting, and I deserve more respect than that. As a man, if I had laid down with a woman and forced myself on her and orgasmed in her and she got up and it was leaking out of her, guess what? I would have raped her. So by statute, by case law definition, Cassandra Ventura sexually assaulted me. I'm not looking to destroy Cassie. I've given Cassie more than a year to settle this before things got out of control. The problem is that she's being supported by women like you who would choose to attack male victims instead of accept the truth, which is that a woman could have lied to get revenge on the ex-boyfriend who broke her heart and hurt her. It happens, people.
All right. Let's thoughts on that.
That's
Any
what I'm
thoughts?
talking.
Where is
No, I'm
Well,
saying.
I wanna
So
know-
what do y'all say? And I'm saying, what do y'all say about this? This. He's saying that he was a victim of Cassie, and she's saying that he was an eyewitness with Puff, and the things that she said was a lie. So is he lying?
Addie, go ahead.
See, okay, on that thing, Prince, we don't know if he's lying. We don't know if Cassie's lying. We don't know because we don't have that evidence to prove. No one is going in and, seeing that. Another thing on that is if that is the case, then to be honest, they would both be not the victims, but the problem. Let's be honest. They're both the problem. This is not, I was going to say this is the same thing as another case that happened with another famous person, but it's not the same. It's a little bit different, a lot different actually. But with him not getting, the being arrested and stuff, let's also go back to the fact that, a lot of people 100% think it's race. There's been multiple cases with, famous white people as well, and they get dropped. Sometimes they shouldn't have. Most of the time, they shouldn't have been dropped. They should have went to prison 100%. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. It doesn't matter about the skin, what race, what sexuality. It doesn't matter. The fact is that they're not doing anything to visualize more proof. They're just taking the word for it. You can't do that. Like, you shouldn't do that. But people do that. Like, oh, you said this, so it's correct. Oh, you said this, it's correct. They're not doing tests, analysis, or what's the one thing where you get hooked up to some machine and
The lie detector test. But I will say, let me just say this, just so you know, this particular guy is all throughout the case. His name is brought up several times throughout the case. So he's not like a person on the side, like some of the people like Ronnie Bowe and these people that just talking mess. No, he was in the case. He was blocked from testifying, and also he has a book coming out. That book was blocked. I think I don't know what the name is called, but it's just a name that her lawyer basically blocked it from coming out. I don't know what it's called, but like so it's a whole situation going on here that I think that we need to really look into. Let's look a little further.
They say hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and that's true. If you hurt some women, they will do everything in their power. If you hurt some men, they'll do everything in their power to hurt you. But I want to end this by saying this: Cassie did this to herself. They say he who sets out on the course of revenge should dig two graves. People, Cassie dug the grave that is Clayton Howard herself. Cassie got on the stand trying to destroy Diddy. She should have took her $20-30 million and walked into the sunset, people. She should have never gotten on the stand and created further liability for herself by telling more of the lie that she created to get this man sent to prison for his life. She made a mistake when she got on the stand, people. She made a mistake when she got on the stand and lied about the events with Clayton Howard. Clayton Howard is the victim of Cassandra Ventura. Clayton Howard didn't ask to be in a relationship with Cassandra Ventura while she was sleeping with numerous men per week. I get it. You all think I was a nasty male prostitute sleeping with women, all different women all the time. It actually didn't work like that. To have certain types of people that can pay you that well, what you really have to do is you have to focus on people who are affluent. And affluent people don't engage in activities like that. So I might have had a client once a month. The truth is I was only a male escort for 2 years. I continued in the profession because Cassie and Diddy continued to pay me very well. And I was an ex-con. I needed money. Yes, I was trapped in a situation. I'll admit that. I didn't know what to do. But does that mean I should be victim shamed because the same thing that happened to women all the time happened to me as a man? No. And for those women out there, for you black women who choose to shame me as a black man for telling my truth, you should be ashamed of yourself. That's probably pretty much all I have to say. You will not see me too much in the media. I don't need the public to believe me. I just need a jury of my peers and 12 people to believe me in a court. And thanks to the testimony of Cassie during the trial with Sean Combs, I have that. Thank you for watching. Stop victim shaming. Thank you.
Thoughts?
he said his piece. He said, "Peace out."
Any thoughts about that? About what he just said?
I still believe that
Absolutely,
there's not enough evidence.
absolutely. Uh, no, go ahead, Abby. You go ahead first. No, go ahead,
No
Abby.
offense. No offense, but I still believe that there's a lot that is being left out in this case. I'm not sure if that's just how I am. I feel like in lots of cases it's how things are because it is. So I do believe that there is stuff that's being left out. I don't believe that they're speaking the whole truth. And I also believe that the press is, I believe they're hiding stuff. I believe the press is hiding stuff from us. The same thing that the government does. They hide stuff from people. That's just how this world works. People aren't going to say the whole truth. They're going to say what they need to save their own ass. And I don't mean any disrespect. If I'm sounding disrespectful, I do apologize sincerely. So
No, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. Like, we only getting what they actually put out there, and that was the whole thing I was saying. Like that was the whole thing of demonizing him when they tried to say he was messing with children and he had dungeons and the baby oil was spiked and he was having sex with his mom and all this different stuff that wasn't even in the court. And even only thing that we actually did see that wasn't in the court was the situation that happened in the hotel hall. But because that was supposed to have been settled in civil court, where she got the 30 million, the male escort or whatever, entertainer, or whatever they want to call themselves, he was correct. She should have took her 30 million and dipped. So because she didn't dip, now all this stuff is coming out, and I'm telling y'all, mark my word, there's going to be more lawsuits against Cassie. There's going to be more lawsuits because once the men are able to see that one went through, then you're gonna have more said male victims. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely agree with you, Abby. Like, we don't know the dynamics of everything, but what we do know is that they're both adults. They both was involved in these diabolical acts or these freak offs. And what we see from what I'm seeing is a turning on somebody. You got your little 30 million. Then from the 30 million, it went to now you getting immunity and testifying against this man. You know what I'm saying? To make him look like this monster. But then when it came out, because remember, before it even came out in the court, everybody already demonized P. Diddy based on what was being said about the man. But once it came out in court, whoo, the stuff that she was involved in, you know what I mean? And they even asked her on the stand, you know, do you still love P. Diddy? And she was about to say yes, but her husband was there, and she looked at her husband, and then she switched it and said, the love that we shared is something I miss. Something that she said in them words. I'm not, 100% on what she said, but from what I believe that this woman still loved P. Diddy. This woman was upset with P. Diddy for whatever situation it was, and this became the outcome. This was a lover's quarrel that went left field. That's how I see it. To the point now, people are involved. I respect Puff. You kept your mouth shut. You didn't rat on nobody. You know what I'm saying? Whatever rules of engagement you involved in, then you involved in that. She was there for all the good times. She let the good times roar, right or wrong, Baba. She was there. She was there for all the good. All the freak offs, all the popping the bottles and the
And the
dressing
drugs,
and
getting high, and
I got a
Also, another
question.
thing is they're both adults.
I want to make a statement. I want to make a statement.
and
Well, not a statement, but go
I'm
ahead.
about to call. Oh, no, go ahead, Baba. No, I can wait. Go ahead, Baba.
What I want to shoot out in, and this might be a little turn on it. Do anyone know what project was P. Diddy working on that was going to affect some things that shook the upper high echelon?
I think he was trying to start his own party or something like, or was he trying to start a actual political party for people or something like that? Was he not doing that?
Okay.
And I think he was also trying to own a station or something. But I know that then the Ciroc situation, and there was a lot of things going on.
Well, the same thing happened to Bill Crosby. He was trying to buy one of the big networks, and they killed his son, and then they came after him. Remember, they didn't just come after him on GP. That don't matter. Something that he rocked in the higher echelon among the oligarchs that made them get nervous. If this nigga can do all this, he's capable of doing this. Let's shut him down. Then they go find the weak link to try to shut him down. So I look at these things because anytime we raise up, they try to find a way to bring it down. You remember the deal about the American Gangster that Denzel played in that? And what the deal, how that deal went down? He says, I can't see no nigga being head of no big cartel.
Yeah, American Gangster, yeah. Lucas, George Lucas.
Yeah. Well, anytime we
Frank Lucas,
anytime we raise to the level where we're threatening one of their figure they control, they get nervous. When they get nervous, they start looking for weak links, and like my boss says, snitches get stitches. Let's all looking for snitches and find ways to bring down. They don't care about this man sex exploitation. They want to embarrass him and demonize him so it cut off his ability to achieve his goals. Same thing with Dion and his family. They trying to shut down anybody that seems in the sense of a critical thinker that's moving forward. The world hates a critical thinker. When you start thinking outside the box and stuff start happening, and the Most High is moving with you, they get nervous. So they're trying to find the demonize demonize, scrutinize, destroy.
I'm gonna let Addie say what she's gonna say, and I'm gonna play this video from the juror. Let's go. What's up, Addie?
Another thing is that awesome perspective. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm still, under the age, okay? But another thing is, these are both adults we're talking about. Adults who knew the consequences of their actions. Adults who know, oh, this is what may have to turn out. Oh, this is what's gonna happen. They both knew, they both had those thoughts, and they still did it. And they knew the consequences possibly of what was gonna happen. These are, again, adults. They make their own decisions and now they're facing the consequences of it. But what they're doing is they're just escalating it. It really, honestly, did not have to go this far. Honestly, could
I
have
don't
just
think
done
that.
it
I
and
don't think.
didn't walk out.
Honestly, I don't think that Cassie knew it was going to go this far. I think she's going to get her money. I don't think that she even knew it was going to turn into a federal indictment. I thought that she was going to get her little 30 million. Then she sued the hotel. She thought that was going to be it. Then the federal government said, "Hold on, this is a lot of stuff. Okay, look at this. Oh my God." That's an indictment, boom. And then next thing you know, indictment comes across. Now, oh shit, we got to find immunity because I'm involved too. Now she's testifying and got immunity and this, that, the other. But here's the thing: we're not going to also just be having a woman blaming whoring because listen, if P Diddy chose a whore too, come on now. He liked the whore. He liked her because he could have found any like wholesome woman to be with. He did everything to please this so-called whore that you guys are talking about. So yeah, Cassie might have been a hoe or whatever, but Diddy did everything, and he chose more hoes. He chose 3, 4, 5, 6 hoes. So he liked hoes. So we can't sit up here and be blaming the women all the time, and the woman is hoes, and we gotta blame all the women. Well, honey, if you like hoes, then you like hoes, bro. Maybe choose
What
better
about those
women.
men?
You said they
What
tell those
about the
women
men?
y'all need to choose better men, and when we get impregnated by dudes and this, that, the other, well, hell, you needed him. Then he needed to choose a better woman. Okay, why is it the woman that gotta always take the accountability of everything and this, that, the other? So we ain't gonna do a whole woman bashing event either. Let's not do that. But let me go
Nah,
ahead.
that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying.
If she's a whore, why not P Diddy? Let's be honest. He slept with multiple
Well,
women, but they're
she's a
not
Right,
gonna
wrong
be.
he insecure. He got a small D, and he can't do it. Whatever he wanna. Okay, if you like it,
Exactly.
then baby, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and hire these people to please you the way that you want. Okay, you like that guy? Okay, I'll do that. And then okay, now you jaying off on the side of the lines and trying to direct the scene so you can feel empowered. But the bottom line is that if she's the one that is doing that or whatever, and you're like down for that, I don't think that that's a crime, so to speak. I think that hey, people do that weird stuff. All the people. This is not. Listen, watch when you hear the juror. I think now there was like 4 white men, and I believe that when they heard the actual things that was going on, they're like, bro, I've heard. I mean, I'm sure they've been did worse than whatever he did because I'm sure I've been a DJ at the white swinger parties. Trust me, because it be going down at the swinger parties. Okay, whatever that was, rubbing baby all on each other and doing it. That ain't got man. It don't light a candle to the stuff that I've seen as a DJ. If they had a Rico for the person that was throwing the parties that I've been throwing at, honey, it'd be senators, mayors, all type of people going down.
So look,
It's all
I
kind of
wanted to
weird
say this
shit
though,
going on
DJ.
sexually in these higher ups, and I've seen it. I lived in Washington D.C. DJ at swinger parties, bondage parties, S&M part, all that stuff. DJed at this stuff. Like I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just seen it. Like I said, I'm from the Baltimore, DC, Virginia area. I'm in Virginia. I just seen all this stuff too. I'm
Have
not
you ever been to
blaming.
the House of Secrets, Negro? How old are you?
Nah, I refuse to go there. I know
Have
about that.
you know about the House of Secrets? I
Yeah,
DJed at
I
the
ain't
House of
going there.
Secrets.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Okay,
dare
so
go in there.
trust me. Listen, so Negro know what I'm talking about. Come on now. I wanted one day for somebody that know about the House of Secrets that know, and I used to DJ there, and
Yeah, that place is wild. Even 2 o'clock club was well, some places in Baltimore. I would say this. When we look at the fact, I'm not blaming women and with whoring. If they want to whore, but you gotta be a righteous whore. And what I mean by that, you're not lying. This is your business.
You're not being over here stealing from your business, manipulating your business, tricking people out of your business. If you're into that type of scandalous activity and women can't call you out, because who am I to say how women should be liberated? But what I am going to say is when you're looking for liberation, you also have to find discipline within your liberation, because you can't just be pointing fingers everywhere. So women got to hold other women accountable. Like, no, you are a whore. You're being a whore. You have to come with what comes with being a whore. You got to charge it to the games, like a pimp say. You out there selling it, you got to protect it, and you also got to be come back modestly if that's somewhat capable. But it's the act of, some women are nothing like this, don't want anything to do with that lifestyle, don't want multiple partners in their life. There are good women, and it makes it hard for men to understand what is a woman, a good woman, because we now have to start looking at y'all's paychecks.
Man, bro, no, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna lie to
you. Have to. I'm a married man, and I've been around the block. I've done my fair share of everything, and I'm telling you, like, I have to. When I married my wife, I had to figure out what type of man I wanted to be to this woman, and what type of woman I would accept. And if it doesn't have the right moral conduct, something is wrong. Hey, people need to take accountability for that.
But P. Diddy was not operating on no moral conduct. He's in the entertainment industry. Come on, it's rock and roll, sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
But that's what I'm saying. He wanted that type of woman. He found that type of woman. He just found a way. He chose that. I'm not saying he should get off. He chose.
I don't think that he thought that person was going to drop dime on him and do all this, and it turned into all this, because this was the status quo in Hollywood. Listen, I have people I know from that New York scene, honey, that would make this whole thing that this whole trial look like pancakes. Okay, I've heard stories of people even like, I mean, it's a thing. I forget what it's called. Where, man, I've heard some wild stuff that goes on at some of these parties. You know what I'm saying? In New York, especially in the 90s, I heard it was off the chain. You know what I'm saying? So that what he was doing, rubbing oil all day long and for 4 hours, just rubbing oil on each other. Come on now, talking for hours and then finally do it. Now this whole thing is lasting long as hell. They not just getting it in that whole
and
time.
Who's the center of it? That's what I'm saying. And who's the center of it? This woman. Now we got to blame.
Right, well, but he chose that woman, so we not fixing to like also just only like this. He chose that. He liked that whorish woman.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not doing that.
He chose other whorish women on top. When one whorish woman went away, he chose another one. So it's his choice. He could have chose any kind of wholesome woman he could have been with. He's not fixing to sit up here and only be like, okay.
That's what I'm saying. He's not into good women. He's into whores. Are you a righteous whore or unmodest whore? So you got to find out. We got prostitutes out here who knows the game, and they just did it's strictly business. Cassie is not being strictly business. That's why everything's crumbling down. She could be sued by so many people. You know what I'm saying? Because she did.
Right now, they all see she got that 30 million, 40, whatever, 40 million now.
And she's going to lose every bit of it.
Yeah, so hey.
And she will lose every bit of it by doing bad business, being a bad whore. She made good whores look bad. And I'm pretty sure good hoes is out here praising with men saying, good God, they got her. A prostitute don't want you taking her type of funds. That could have been for a woman who truly needed that, who holds with a purpose, who prostitutes with a purpose.
I don't know. Pray no such thing as now we're getting into some weird waters here. That's getting strange. Okay, we're not gonna fix to promote prostitution either, though. We ain't gonna fix to do that. So
we're not fixing to promote prostitution. We're talking life. This is what it is. There's prostitutes outside right now who doing everything they can the right way to get their money. Where you got a woman out here doing things unrighteously to get everything she can to get her money. It's no different. If you're willing to get flued out, if you're willing for exchange, if y'all want equal rights, why don't y'all act like equal people? That's why I draw the line. It ain't fair to no one, not even a person who's accepting it and being misused. It's not fair. How do you get robbed for fair exchange?
You know, because I
That's
took
crazy.
a copious amount of notes overall, like 350 pages worth of notes. Because at the end, we weren't told who was an alternate, who was a main juror until literally the last second when they were reading when the judge was reading his entire statement at the end. It was like, the first 12 are the jurors, the last 5 are the alternates. So we didn't know, even in the jury room, no one treated everyone, we all were equal because we didn't know who was who.
Would you have acquitted him on RICO?
I think reading all my notes and looking back at the evidence, I probably would have reached the same conclusion as the other jurors.
What was it about that charge?
I don't, the thing with the, when it, because we were asked and the judge had instructed us that we have to find him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Mm-hmm. And I think there was always a little bit of doubt in people's mind. And I think it was a tough case to prove, especially the first one. And, there was always a little bit of doubt there, even from the beginning.
Why did you doubt?
I think some of the charges, some of the witnesses, if you look at it one way, but then when you were listening to the defense, you could see it's their way as well.
Were there any witnesses that made you think, I don't believe this?
There was one that I think unanimously we kind of all said like, wow, like it was almost like watching like TV. Mm. It was like like when I think her name was Dawn Richard, that one. Mm-hmm. When she on cross-examination. I mean, I never saw such a cross-examination. It was very impressive to watch.
What was it about it?
I think just how the defense, got into her and really made her, look very not credible. I mean, I even wrote in my notebook that it was like a takedown.
Really? And that was pretty early on.
That was pretty early on.
From the opening statements, did you have a mindset of who you thought had a better case?
No. I think overall, from the way I look at it, both sides presented really good. Both sides presented themselves well. We were very impressed with the prosecution and the defense, how they, their professionalism, how they carried themselves. I mean, it was really good lawyering, as they say.
Racketeering is notoriously a complex case. Did you feel that the prosecution presented enough evidence to support that there was even an enterprise?
I think they did the best that they could, but I think it was a tough case to prove.
Why?
I mean, when you look at the charges, kidnapping, arson, forced labor, the government had one side, but then the defense, they had some pretty good rebuttals to it. So I mean that I think added some doubt always, and I think in people's mind.
You didn't hear from some of the people the government said were co-conspirators, like employees,
like Christina Karam,
and example, or D-Rock. Yeah. Did that affect your thoughts about the case?
I don't think so. No.
Would you wanted to hear from them?
We always thought that maybe we would hear from them, but maybe we also understood maybe why they wouldn't be called.
Why?
Because maybe they didn't want to testify, or they wouldn't really be proving the case, or maybe it would be not advantageous to be called. So, but honestly, we were just waiting till the end, until when the judge gave his instructions and how to interpret the law. Because I think everyone really didn't have anything made up. Their mind made up or in any way. It was really, everyone was waiting to see how, the definitions and how everything was going to be interpreted and what they were to be looked at. Exactly.
So important.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that?
No.
No thoughts?
Okay, she back. She back.
Yeah, I'm back.
I'm gonna be 100. I did not understand any of it, but I'm still learning.
So that was the juror. That was the actual juror that was actually a part of the case. So that's that. Hey, so I'm not sure if you noticed that that is the actual juror and how they were actually seeing the case and how they saw it. And the first thing that he said is that he felt like they felt like he was being railroaded off rip. And then some of the testimonies of the trial, like they even more as time went on, the things didn't seem true. Things seemed contrived. So as time went on, and at this point, they're just like, okay, what how do we judge this? So what are your thoughts? No thoughts?
Again, like I said before, you can't trust people fully. You never know. So that's just where I stand. So I see more and more and more evidence on this. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna pick a side. I'm not. No, I can't say he's wrong, she's wrong, this is wrong. We don't know. So until there's more evidence, with all due respect, I got nothing. I don't know. That's all.
I'll play a little bit more just so we can have a little more clarity. Then let me play a little bit more.
Okay, thank you.
Talk to me about the sex trafficking cases, because of court charges. Obviously, Cassie Ventura testified visibly pregnant for days.
Yes.
How did her testimony impact you in your understanding of the case?
It did. You know, I listened. You know, we listened very intently. It was, I think, 5 days or forever of thing. And you know, it was very riveting. And it was very riveting testimony and very credible testimony.
You believed her?
I mean, I think we did. I think we did. I mean, she wouldn't have done all this just to come up there and you know, lie about everything. So no, I don't think even the defense didn't come out and say anything like that.
Did the money that they talked about in terms of a civil settlement she received, did that color her testimony for you at all?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. No.
Did you look at the defendant, Diddy Combs, differently after her testimony?
No, I didn't really look at him too much. I mean, I always looked at him because my point of view was just literally at him. Like some people were on the side, but I was more in the corner. So I was always like staring at him. But I don't think he was mostly just very composed and talking with his lawyers and very in control. It seemed like, you know, because I think I mean, I'm not really familiar too much with cases and I don't really follow, you know, cases in court. So I don't know how defendants usually act. But sometimes what I've heard in you know, from the news is that some defendants, you know, they just sit very stoically. They don't interact with their lawyers. They just let their lawyers talk and go. But he was very, you know, talking with them, writing notes, doing that. So you could tell that he, you know, he was, you know, he was fighting for himself.
You saw some very graphic images, videos. You heard very sexual and graphic details. What was that like, hearing that? And how did it impact how you viewed the case?
No, they were very graphic. And but I think overall, you know, we were looking at it from like one side, and it was definitely riveting and eye-opening.
What did you see on the videos? You know, the press wasn't able to see it in real time.
Yeah. No, I mean, they were showing some of the. Well, I mean, it was both the freak offs and hotel nights, as they were called, from both of them. But it was.
What were they showing those videos?
They showed, well, again, you know, the defense and the prosecution showed different clips, so they were very selective. Like the prosecution was showing more, you know, just Cassie just sitting around.
The defense showed that.
Defense showed that, yeah.
Just her sitting around not engaging in sexual activity.
Yes.
The prosecution, when you had to have your headphones on and otherwise, what were you seeing then?
There was sexual activity, but I mean, it wasn't really.
Was it force?
No, it didn't seem forced. It was actually like pretty tame.
Really?
Yeah.
Did she?
It was just a lot of rubbing oil and stuff on there. It wasn't anything too you know, graphic.
Let me ask you.
It was just rubbing oil. It wasn't anything too. So in our minds, us like just you know, kind of like not knowing what they're seeing because they're not showing us, we're imagining all kind of wild stuff. But the juror just said they were just pretty much rubbing oil on each other for hours. And then even like when I saw Vlad TV was one of the workers, you know, they just, you know, the rubbing oil would go on excessively, you know what I'm saying, talking for a long period of time, him and Cassie getting to know each other. Let's rub oil on each other for hours on it because they're high. They rubbing oil for the, you know, longer period of time that's than normal. You know what I'm saying? And then they probably did it, you know, probably for an hour or whatever. But it's a lot of rubbing oil, you know. And the guy said it wasn't too graphic. I mean, compared to like in their mind what they're expecting to see, it wasn't that. But in our minds, we're thinking this huge, like just disgusting, like whatever. There was probably some moments, but I'm not sure if that was caught on tape. But yeah. So any thoughts? Man, everybody's quiet. No
sorry,
thought.
I didn't hear. I had the headphones out. I was having a conversation. I'm so sorry. Can you repeat what you said?
Like the jury said rubbing oil was like, it was not nothing too extreme. It was pretty much a lot of oil rubbing and stuff like that, you know.
But again, it was their decision. They made the choice.
So you get a prostitution charge for rubbing oil on each other?
That doesn't make sense.
Be considered a rub down. Don't they have a thing called a rub down, like in massage? Like, okay, you can either do a massage or you can do a rub down, right? So maybe if anything, maybe rubbing oil. Like, come on now. I mean, I'm sure they did way more than rubbing oil, but I'm just saying, this is what I mean. I'm gonna take it back a little bit so we can be sure what he just said, because I think that people have their own opinions of what they think that the people were seeing and what was really going on, but. When she asked him, let's go.
Then it wasn't anything too graphic.
Let me ask you, this jury that deliberated did not find sex trafficking when it came to Cassie Ventura. They also didn't find it when it came to Jane. And I want to ask you about Jane.
Graphic.
Let me ask you.
Let me go back.
Really?
Really. It didn't seem forced. It was actually like pretty tame.
Really?
Yeah. It was just a lot of rubbing oil and stuff on there. It wasn't anything too graphic.
Let me ask you, this jury that deliberated did not find sex trafficking when it came to Cassie Ventura. They also didn't find it when it came to Jane. And I want to ask you about.
Say it again.
Can I say something?
Sure, go ahead.
I know that I know we're trying to get at other things, and I know I probably typically change the subject a little bit, but it's not intentionally. But if I'm gonna speak my truth in it, then I'm gonna just have to speak my truth. And my truth is this: whatever we see, whether he was found innocent, whether he's found guilty, I know one thing about it, and we all see it in everybody else's cases. Normally, when the feds get on you, they get on you because they typically have a substantial amount of evidence. And we all know that to be true. Because we always say, especially in the Black community, if the feds have you for any reason, they got something on you. So I feel as though whatever happened in this case, it was far bigger than what we were thinking. I feel the feds had a lot on P. Diddy. But because of the power that P. Diddy have, a lot of the victims, to me, I felt they did not come forward. So I don't feel people trying to railroad him. I feel like, again, his actions railroaded him. But what he should be thankful for is the part of his actions that he probably should be doing time for. He really should be saying thank you. Because the same way we held R. Kelly accountable for his side and what he did to victimize and also be victimized, he's paying his prices. P. Diddy not about to pay half of his prices. Why? Because in a big sense, P. Diddy sit on a bigger platform than R. Kelly. Not to say R. Kelly wasn't big, but he did not sit on the same platform with P. Diddy. And I believe a lot of the victims know coming forward, they probably was more scared than anybody would ever know. So if I'm going to keep it real, that might change the subject, but I came well away from that. I feel he got away with what he needed to get away with. He should sit back and do the time that he was guilty of doing and get out and make sure he changed his heart on the way out. Really on the way in. Because he should be thankful.
That's on period.
How many D's?
3 and 3 dots. Be for real.
Pop, pop, pop. Thank you, Edbug. That's how
I got you.
I just feel like that. I feel like he skated a long way. And when they start bringing down those houses, they're not bringing them down for no reason. Because we always say, well, there's smoke, there's fire. So why do we put out the smoke at other people's house when you know it's fire over there? That's not right.
So I'm not sure. Did you get to hear some of the conversation that we were having before? We talked about Cassie Ventura and the situations with her.
I heard about Cassie. Mm-hmm. I feel like
Did you,
I
no,
gave
did you
both
hear?
of
No, did you hear the conversation that we just had, or were you gone for that whole thing?
I'm not sure. Go ahead. I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah. So there was a whole conversation about the worker that you know, he was pretty much saying that he felt like that he was taken advantage of at some point, you know. And so like he's like it's not fair that, you know, that he got taken advantage of as well. So I'm gonna play a little bit real quick so you can hear it because I want to get your opinion on it. Let's go. And just so you can hear it. 'Cause really want to hear what you got to say about this because I think that this is interesting too.
So good morning. I am Dave, the man who has just sued Cassandra Ventura for damages involved in the Sean Combs sex trafficking trial. And I'm looking through social media and I see a lot of the women out there, particularly black women like myself, who choose to victim shame me and try to do everything they can to discredit me, because the truth is that the loss of the Sean Combs trial was a loss to the Me Too movement and to hating women like the women who are trying to insult me. So let me tell you something, you women out there who would like to insult me. This is my story. I was paid by Cassie, Cassandra Ventura, for 8 years to be her male provider. I didn't have to be the best looking guy. I was the best in bed. And because I was the best in bed, guess what? I was given this arrangement. I was coerced. I was drugged. I was manipulated with promises of money and gifts for over a period of 8 years to continue to be this woman's provider at her expense and at the expense of Diddy. Now, at the time, legally, I didn't know my rights as well as I do now. I didn't create this conflict with Cassandra Ventura. She created it with me. She's the one who decided to bring up things that happened over 10 to 15 years ago to hold Sean Combs accountable for what was a partial truth. She's the person who introduced me to the U.S. Attorney's Office. She's the person who told the U.S. Attorney's Office about our relationship. So in essence, those out there who want to hate on me, who want to say that I'm attacking Cassie, you should realize the truth, that Cassandra Ventura, your idol, did this to herself. She exposed herself to liability when she got on the stand and decided to mention me as the male escort who was with her when she overdosed and Diddy made her have sex with him. That was a lie, people. Cassie had just woke up from sleeping 8 hours. Myself and Sean Combs were exhausted. We wanted to go home. Cassie's the one who forced that sexual encounter. People, she tells you that Sean Combs made her have sex on her menstrual cycle. I can't speak for anyone else but myself. But I know the one time that did happen, that Sean Combs was not responsible for that Cassie, in a drunken, intoxicated, hormonally imbalanced state due to her period, manipulated and forced herself on me during her menstrual cycle. And what I mean by that is I had no knowledge she was on her menstrual cycle because the room was completely dark. She manipulated the room. She manipulated the environment to get what she wanted, and then she totally got up like I was the one who should have been grateful. You're on your period. That's disgusting, and I deserved more respect than that. As a man, if I had laid down with a woman and forced myself on her and orgasmed in her and she got up and it was leaking out of her, guess what? I would have raped her. So by statute, by case law definition, Cassandra Ventura sexually assaulted me. I'm not looking to destroy Cassie. I've given Cassie more than a year to settle this before things got out of control. The problem is that she's being supported by women like you who choose to attack male victims instead of accept the truth, which is that a woman could have lied to get revenge on the ex-boyfriend who broke her heart and hurt her. It happens, people. They say hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and that's true. If you hurt some women, they will do everything in their power. If you hurt some men, they'll do everything in their power to hurt you. But I want to end this by saying this. Cassie did this to herself. They say he who sets out on a course of revenge should dig 2 graves. People, Cassie dug the grave that is Clayton Howard herself. Cassie got on the stand trying to destroy Diddy. She should have took her $20-30 million and walked into the sunset, people. She should have never gotten on the stand and created further liability for herself by telling more of the lie that she created to get this man sent to prison for his life. She made a mistake when she got on the stand, people. She made a mistake when she got on the stand and lied about the events with Clayton Howard. Clayton Howard is a victim of Cassandra Ventura. Clayton Howard didn't ask to be in a relationship with Cassandra Ventura while she was sleeping with numerous men per week. I get it. You all think I was a nasty male prostitute sleeping with women, all different women all the time. It actually didn't work like that. To have certain types of people that can pay you that well, what you really have to do is you have to focus on people who are affluent. And affluent people don't engage in activities like that. So I might have had a client once a month. The truth is I was only a male escort for 2 years. I continued in the profession because Cassie and Diddy continued to pay me very well. And I was an ex-con. I needed money. Yes, I was trapped in the situation. I'll admit that. I didn't know what to do. But does that mean I should be victim shamed because the same thing that happened to women all the time happened to me as a man? No. And for those women out there, for you black women who choose to shame me as a black man for telling my truth, you should be ashamed of yourself. That's really pretty much all I have to say. You will not see me too much in the media. I don't need the public to believe me. I just need a jury of my peers and 12 people to believe me in a court. And thanks to the testimony of Cassie during the trial with Sean Combs, I have that. Thank you for watching. Stop victim shaming. Thank you.
So this story just took a turn that nobody saw coming. A male escort is now suing Cassie. Yes, the same Cassie who has been at the center of the Diddy scandal. for allegedly giving him an STD and aborting his child without telling him. According to TMZ, the man's name is Clayton Howard, though he claims he went by Dave during the alleged encounters. And here's where it gets wild. He says he worked for Cassie and Diddy for over 8 years and participated in what he's calling freak-offs. We're talking multiple partner sexual sessions, often arranged by Diddy himself. During one of these sessions, Clayton claims he caught an STD from Cassie. And that's not even the most shocking part. He's also alleging that Cassie got pregnant by him while he was in prison for a parole violation.
Oh, I think we was gonna get a break.
Hold on. She was carrying, like, she had his baby?
Yeah.
See, okay, that's a little effed up, and that respectfully, that was a bitch move.
She got pregnant by him, but then she aborted the baby.
Without both, I feel like if you do that, you're supposed to tell the other person to get. I don't know. Let me stop before I say something.
And she had an STD. Gave it to him. Yep. Didn't tell him that she had STD.
And she gave the boy STD. Come on.
He gave him herpes. Yeah.
I'm respectfully, I'm gonna mute before I say something that I probably shouldn't. That may offend someone.
What you gotta say? Whoever it offends, it just offend them.
Man, yeah, this is not the place.
What she did was a bitch move. Respectfully, that's a bitch call. If you got pregnant by him, shouldn't you have told him, seen if he was, because what if he wanted the baby? What if he wanted it? Respectfully, I'm very passionate about that. Queen, you know that I'm very passionate when it comes to stuff like that. So respectfully, that was a bitch move, and good luck with life. Respectfully. I'm sorry. I don't mean any disrespect. You know that, Queen.
That's how you feel about it. Nobody can be disrespected. You said it in a respectful way.
Right.
If you see this, I don't like you.
You gotta say what you feel, right, Queen? You gotta say what you feel.
Exactly. People get more upset with me because I tell the truth, and then when you trace it back, they definitely don't want you on the flow. So I learned that along my journey. But I don't know how I feel.
I gotta go, y'all. I gotta go. It was.
No, let's do a wrap up. Yeah, we've been here for almost 3 hours.
Won't you play one? Listen, DJ Genesis, won't you play one of my songs? Since Queen is here, she can hear some of my music. Shout out to the brothers that brought me out: Killer Priest, Hellraiser, DJ Low. Shout out to Wu-Tang Clan. You know what I'm saying?
What we're gonna do before we do that, we're gonna have final words, and then I'll play one of your songs on the way out. And then listen, this is not. Listen, it costs us money to do this. Please, if you are in the chat and watching, please feel free to hit the super chats. Please feel free to support the channels that if you're on Queen's channel, if you're on my channel, please feel free to support. Hit the super chat button.
I subscribe to your channel,
Make
Queen.
sure you subscribe to Queen 62's channel.
I had to.
Thank you.
Yo, let me ask you a question, Queen. You said, speak the truth. Yo, you ever think about visiting Tanzania?
I thought about visiting. I got about 4 countries on the list that I want to go and visit. I might have
Take me with you, Queen.
I think there's one I might replace and not visit. I just wanted to see how I look in another country, to be honest with you.
So
well, y'all have that conversation behind the scenes. Come on now.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just asking.
Love connection.
Okay, it's for content. People want to hear.
Yeah, I'm saying replace that and come visit Tanzania.
You know what?
Queen, when are you gonna come down to where I'm at? Since we live in the same state, when are you gonna come see me?
When I start getting some of these super chats.
I would do a super chat, but Queen, you know me. I don't got no. Queen, you know I would super chat if I had money.
What state you from?
Well,
hey, listen.
I'm not being rude, but it sounded like you was like kind of siding with Cassie, like since we don't have evidence and things like that, get the money. How you gotta get the money? But all due respect, I'm saying get the money. How you gotta get the money if you want things to happen? That's what Cassie did, and people don't want to judge that. So don't judge yourself on the same line you would judge other people. If you don't have full evidence, you want to say things like we don't have full evidence, so I don't understand. Well, let's understand human nature. Let's understand poverty. Let's understand morality. And then you can judge on what you think should happen between both parties. Because I think Cassie should be rotting in jail. I don't even think Diddy should do a day behind. I think Diddy should sue the state, federal. Diddy should come out with a bigger lawsuit than Cassie. I believe that deep down in my heart, as humans, if you really love one another, then what we stand for as humans is wrong when you say a person should get some type of justification for sex trafficking, prostitution, or even rape. If you did not fight back and you just come out with a story, if you didn't press criminal charges and it's about the money, it's harder to even take that type of person serious. And women really don't care what happened to men in the bedroom as far as sexual assault. We can tell because most of them will say that man wanted it or he would have enjoyed themselves. A lot of these women come from a long line of bad vagina, terrible vagina. You know what I'm saying? Grandmother had bad vagina, great grandmother had bad vagina, great aunties had
What do you
bad
mean?
vagina.
Hold on. What do you mean
Hold
bad?
up, hold on.
You going too hard now. You doing too much.
You're taking something that isn't
We are
something
not
that is
fixing
serious
to
and then
that.
hating on all women.
I
You're
guess
on
if
a
y'all saying a
woman's.
hit dog holler, y'all saying a hit dog holler, you know.
No. We're not fixing to do that though. We're not
You're
fixing
starting to hit
I
on
know
the whole
that's
women
why I don't know if
community, so
I'm built.
you're
I don't know if
all
I'm built for
acting
your
up.
show. I don't know if I'm built for your show because I'm too direct, too straightforward, and too morally.
Man, you can be built for the
righteous
show,
with it.
but listen, yeah, but don't mean you ain't gonna get no pushback. You want to be able to
don't
say
mind.
what
I'm
you gonna.
married.
Hold
Can I
on,
say
hold
something?
on. You said, hold on. You said that you don't
no,
think you're
Queen,
built for the
Queen,
show.
no, Queen, don't do it,
It's
Queen.
another
No,
queen.
Can I say something?
don't do it. Don't do it, Queen.
Yes, do
Don't
it. Do it, queen. Do it.
No, I'm not being
No,
rude to him because
no.
I wouldn't dare be
Awesome.
rude to him. I wouldn't dare be rude to him because that's not what the conversation is about.
Abby
I feel
said,
like
do it, Queen, do it.
let me finish. I wouldn't be rude to him because that's not what the conversation is about. The conversation is about getting an understanding and us being able to communicate. My problem with that would be he talked so long for me until I have a lot of commas behind pretty much every 3 words he say. And when he gets so long-winded like that, he kind of take me off a ruckus a little bit. Then I got to do a recording on him. And then react to him and stop him at every centimeter of a half a second to just throw it back at him and see if he could really be indulged in those type of conversations. Because when you start talking about vaginas and stuff like that, that's when you lose me, because I don't hear that as being respectful. Not when you're talking to the queen.
I agree with that.
And you have to
agree
learn
with
when to take a pause. You got to learn when to take a pause, because I like conversations like that, because then I'll be able to find out where your true anger came from. But we got to stop the
But
conversation.
I have no anger. I have love for my people. This is what's coming. This is coming from love for my people, love for righteous spirits. Because even with men, all of us men aren't soulfully gifted down there as well. All of us don't know how to use what we have coming, and that's why I say when you try to say, well, not you, what people per se say, well, it's how you define the woman's for JJ. Technically,
No, see
it
that right
comes
there.
from
This
her
is when you
genetics.
no, AJ. When
No,
you
I'm
right
just
there,
saying.
You can't define it.
It throw me
Period.
because we're talking
I'm the
about.
one getting it. I'm the
No,
one
you're
getting it.
talking about, you got to mute him. When you're talking about one thing and then you're going to talk about the JJs, because see, I hate when people go too far in the middle of the story. I wanted you to back up when you started talking about Cassie. When we can get off what you initially came up here for, then we can address the other thousand
Yeah, this
things.
is about Cassie. The dude saying,
for me to give you
Let her speak.
For me to give you my input on Cassie, and I'm gonna end it like this, because when you go to talk about the JJs, that's for the rest of the stage. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. If P. Diddy is guilty of whatever he did, and as you see, he's guilty, he's getting ready to be sentenced. The twist to it is, for me, the same people that came and stood against Diddy and became witnesses for Cassie. Now, for those victims of Cassie, they need to do what they did to P. Diddy. They need to take their cases to the DA, and they need to hold Cassie accountable for now her share of coercion and victimizing. And then we can put both of them on stage. Why don't you come on stage and fight for that?
So I listened to what you said, but it's funny.
There's no
it's funny how
either. There's victims on both sides. So
Right.
bring her to trial.
she can be long-winded, but I can't make the point.
No,
It's
she
wild.
wasn't done with her
Can I say
point.
something,
She
please?
was not done with her point, and so we got to let people. I'm gonna let you say your whole point.
I mean, I wasn't
because
either, but
it's
I can end it.
interrupting. You
I can
guys,
end it.
we're not gonna do interrupting though. Let each person say the full thing that they want. You said your full
Yeah,
thing.
I never did. I got cut off. She said, and
Right.
this is why you can't say
Yeah,
this about
because
that. But I was ending my point because it was okay for you guys to laugh at, punish Diddy for not having the size that he needed to be, for him being creeped out about him size. But when it comes to defining the woman and her sexuality or being liberated, it's wrong. And this is why I see y'all women is two-sided. And you know what? God bless the panel. I will stop down. Have y'all cut two-faced conversation because it's not fair. Y'all can laugh at Diddy.
Well, no,
This man can
no one laughed.
we're not laughing at anybody.
This man
We're not
can
laughing
get on
at
stage and
anybody.
say,
We
I'm
can all
3
have
times
different
the size of
opinions.
No
Diddy.
one laughed at Diddy, bro.
The man,
Who
yes,
laughed
y'all
at
did.
Diddy?
Hold on.
Y'all met the man said, I'm
Hold
3
on.
times the size
Hold
of
on.
Diddy. And then y'all laughed about that. He said, well, he ain't really doing nothing then. So y'all can just put
Who
it
said
in there.
that?
Hold on. Stop.
Go back and watch
Nobody
your
laughed.
video. I was cooking and listening. Just go back and watch your video.
Nobody laughed.
God bless y'all. Have a good day.
It's another clue.
What are you talking about? What happened?
Nobody laughed. Period. That's just ended it. You took it too far. We had to reel it back in. Period. Plain as day.
I knew this was going to happen.
He knew he disrespected women. He knew he was wrong, so he checked out. That's what happened, and that's what's going to continue to happen because he's disrespectful. Period.
You're not fixing to, yeah. He got out of here. Yeah, of course. You bet. Yeah, get the fuck
Let
out
me
of here.
let me say something. You disrespectful. You're rude. You're entitled. You think women are going to side with women. That's not the case. We side for who we need to side for. Who's wrong? Who's right? That's in the story. You can't define a bad vagina, even if you've had bad vagina. You can't define that because you know it could be bad for you, but good for somebody else. You don't know. Like, you can't define that. You can't define a woman either because you know what? They could be good. They could be bad. You never know. But they could be bad to you, but good to somebody else. You can't define shit. Period. Thank you. In the story. I'm with you.
Yo,
When you know me, I
Queen,
get passionate about that.
Yo, Queen, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
So you like dancing?
I don't think that Queen got bad vagina. I think Queen got some good. Honey, I got some good vagina, honey. I got some good for JJ. Let me tell you something.
Queen, you like dancing? I see
That's
you dancing.
everybody that
like
know me
dancing?
on here. You didn't, so you must haven't seen it.
Cool.
So you must haven't seen any of my videos.
I seen. That's y'all has
Negro need to send me some money just for getting saying all that.
I got one more thing to say.
Send this bad vagina chick some money down. Bad vagina chick we want some money.
Bring it in, and that might be why I got on my green. I said it's time for you to bring the money in. It's time.
Listen,
we gonna do the money mantra real quick.
I got one more thing to say, and then I'm gonna go.
If the way it sound, listen, y'all. The way it sound when the dude was saying that P. Diddy had a small joint, I'm so glad the Most High blessed me there, man. But when it said that P. Diddy had a small joint, and then I think that's when you got to be careful because you don't want to make it seem like that reflect on you. You know what I mean? If P. Diddy had a small joint, hey man, you know what I mean? But
what is bad vagina? If you got a big dick, you don't even worry about no bad vagina. No bad vagina when you got something to work with.
Right.
I got one more thing to say.
Yo, Genesis is crazy.
I got one more thing to say, and then I'm gonna head out because I gotta cook dinner and stuff.
Okay.
But the fact that he came up on here, he had
how old are you? How old are you, Abby?
17.
Oh Lord.
She can't be.
Queen knows this.
She can't be on
talking
girl,
like what are you doing? She
Queen
knows.
knows this. I'm her godchild. Be for real. Yes.
No,
Listen, no, wait a minute. Hey, Genesis.
Your discretion is advised.
Hey, Genesis.
This is adult conversation.
Hey, Genesis. Did
Yep.
she need permission on here because her grandmother, like I have it on my channel.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but I probably need to say that she has the permission to talk whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say this: you got meat. Okay, if you got the meat, then you shouldn't be complaining about no dang on bad vagina.
Yeah, and
I ain't talking no more. I ain't talking no more. Abby, I ain't talking no more.
Right, Abby, you gotta go ahead and cook. I didn't even realize you were that age, child.
You gotta go.
It's adult.
Bye, Abby.
Wait, what I gotta say real quick is this whole, when he came in here, he, had a point at first, and then he took it too far. He took his point way too far, and he didn't pacificize in a woman. He said women, which means multiple. So he came at multiple people. He came on here to start something and then left because he knew that he was in the wrong and couldn't finish it. How can you define a bad vagina when you probably don't get any? So the only one you probably get is the mother. You're the one that you came out of however many years. Another thing is,
wait.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
no. You know this. I'm passionate about this type of stuff. I don't play. I don't play like that. Queen knows this.
Negro say, I got meat, and then what you call say? You got meat. Don't complain about potatoes.
Bye, Addie Bug. Welcome.
I gotta remove you, girl. I didn't know she was that young, child. Oh Lord.
No.
I didn't know. Listen, Lord. I thought she was of age. I didn't know. Joy. That's like my daughter getting up here having a. No, we can't even.
All right,
so listen,
listen.
He said, Negro Ralph said, I got meat. And then Ronald said, if you got the meat, don't complain about potatoes then.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we talking about. Look, DJ Genesis, let's play Love Connection. Look, let's play Love Connection.
Okay.
You the, there you go. Damn. You playing that. Damn. We look, let's see how we look together. Yeah, we fit. We fit. See, I got you laughing and stuff. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. I had to change the rhythm up a little bit. So you going to switch that? You said 4 African countries, but one of them you going. Oh, she don't put the music in the background.
I hear.
You got some wine?
But you know what I do want to tell you? I definitely will be going over. Is that me or you?
No, that's DJ Genesis. She the DJ.
It sounded like I heard echo, but it's okay.
No. But go ahead, say it.
I definitely will be going over to either Korea or China.
All right, I would love to go to China. That would be dope. That would be something dope. You you beautiful. In Swahili, I would say Mozori Dada.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Where your wife at?
Where my wives at? One is in the other room. In the other room right now.
That's with a V.
Yeah, absolutely. I move in order though. But I need some peace of mind. I like your spirit. You're a real lioness.
Oh yeah.
I've been watching you for like a couple of weeks. I asked Genesis about you. I'm like, wow, who is that? Taking control of the YouTube streets.
I don't know how I'm doing that. I'm not sure how.
In my eyes, you are. This is the first time this ever happened on DJ Genesis. Yeah. Connection. Yeah, she playing with me. Yeah, that's what I like. So tell me about yourself. What you about? Where you from?
Didn't you say you watch my videos?
No, Only watched 2 of them. I seen the one you got the black outfit on, and you got your hair up.
Would you consider that a video or a short?
Yeah, it was a short because how I found it. I seen the comment. You was the first one to make a comment, so I hit that, and then it took me to your page, and I just watched a few while I was here. I said, Yahweh have mercy.
Yeah, don't watch the short.
Hey, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna listen. This is like a listen. This is a 30-second elevator pitch. Y'all go ahead.
Right,
go ahead. Give your pitch. This ain't gonna last. The 30-second
elevator.
elevator.
I just want to ask you one more question. Where you from? What part of the country you from? Where you raised in?
Florida.
Are you from Florida? I'm from Philly.
No, I live in Florida.
Where you originally from?
Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah, Philly in the building.
Oh, interesting. That's what
Philly,
it's
man. Philly, man, yeah, absolutely. For you, anyway, you bring the swag out.
That's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you've never seen swag like this before. I guess many of them didn't.
No, I never. This is the first time I ever done this before.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. First time. Yo, DJ Janice is funny. She put up their love connection. We just, yo. Yo, what's going? Yo, DJ Genesis, come back on here before you get me beat up by my wives.
Right.
You got the love connection. Yo, cut it out. Yo, I know my comrades, they watching, they cracking up. Oh, they cracking up. So I see you work out a lot. You work out. That's all. That's just natural. All that's natural like that. You don't work out like.
Man, listen. You gotta get your game up, Prince. Sorry though.
I'm not. Listen.
I had the music going, man. You supposed to music.
Yo,
Yes,
listen.
yes.
I have to be. Listen, I have to be very, very, political, so to say. When I get off she got the information. When we get off this line, it's a different subject. I ain't.
Hey, listen. This is my song, y'all. So
okay.
Enjoy, y'all. Yeah, so I had to go ahead and play my movie. Y'all gave me an opportunity to play my music. Thank you.
Can you play one of my songs, DJ Genesis, so she can hear?
Yeah, I'm gonna play it on the way out. I want to get. Listen, what we gonna do is we gonna wrap things up and play your song, and then we gonna get up out of here because we have been here. You know, I'm gonna play the Money Manager because I think y'all need to go on ahead and you know what I'm saying, be donating. You know, listen, we're gonna just take a quick second before we do our last thing. We're gonna play the Money Mantra because I think that we need to be getting this money in. Go on ahead, hit the super chat. $1 make me holler, y'all. Come on.
I am blessed to make money, making money, making money, making money, making money, manifest, making money, making money, making money, making money. I ain't stressed, making money, making money, making money, making money.
Come on, y'all. Go ahead. This is $1. It's $1.
Jewelry in the safe,
blessed. Okay, y'all listen. That money mantra is also on my page. Please watch it. I mean, Baba Yashabaya told me that when he played that song on a regular basis, people just be giving him money. So that's not just a song; it's actually a mantra. So go ahead and do that. Go ahead and support the channel. Let's get some final words from each person. I know. Have y'all
And
cooled
DJ
down yet?
Genesis,
It was so much romance going
yeah,
on. I don't know exactly what to. I don't know how to feel in my loins about the romance that was happening here. But let's. I want to get some final words from each of y'all. Let's go.
yeah, I just want DJ Genesis. I wanted to remind you, I need to do part 2 on Hebrew cosmogenesis and Hebrew anthropogenesis.
Yeah,
Remember, we
hey,
did part.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm
I need,
here. We gonna listen. This channel is for me, but it's really for the community to be able to speak out. I don't, I really, I'm just a vessel. So, and I'm just here like pretty much to like do like whatever shows y'all have. Anybody that have any shows, if you want me to come here and let me moderate the shows, do the back chats, the super chats, all that stuff, you can come contact me at IG at DJ Genesis. And wait a minute, hold on, it's a super chat. Wait, hold on. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, that's what I mean. Here we go.
I am blessed to make money, money making money, money making money, money making money, money making money, manifest making money, money making money, money making money, money making money. I ain't stressed, making money, money making money, money making money, money making money. Gratitude is my attitude. I'm making money moves. Jewelry in a safe, piggy bank on full. And I'm living life abundant. I'm making money fast. I'm a money making magnet, making cold hard cash. I'm making money. Oh, I am blessed.
Ashay, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, yes, yes. So let me just make this statement right quick. So thanks to Queen. She gave me this idea because I do this anyway, right? But I want people to come to this platform. If they have an idea for a show, I will stream your thing. I will handle the super chats. You share it on your show, on your page, and I can handle all the stuff. So therefore, you don't have to do it. It's hard to like do a show and manage the audience, manage the things, put the things up. So I will be the one that does that. And thanks to Queen, listen, hit me up at DJ Genesis Detroit on IG. And if you have a show and you need like help with like, doing this type of stuff, showing all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? When people are in the comments, who's saying something? Okay, I got a super chat. People are laughing, all this stuff. Listen, let me be the one that handles that for you, and I can help make your show more dynamic. It's very difficult to do that if you're on StreamYard to run your show and do this. So thanks to Queen, who actually pointed out to me that this is actually a skill that I'm pretty much already doing. And I want people to also know, if you contact me, I can help you to try to boost your channel. She has a whole show called what's your thing, Queen? Small channel spotlight.
Talent search.
So if you have a small channel, if you're on Queen's channel, if you need help with like really running your show, doing all this stuff so you can just focus on the content, I can run the show, like do all this stuff, bring up all these like the little different things, and that will help you to be able to just focus on what you're doing. So, and thanks to Queen, who actually pointed out to me. I want you guys to check out Prince. This is his IG. He is also known as the Mighty Hebrew. Baba Yashabaya was up here earlier. Ifa Baluji, if you want to go ahead and donate to him. His phone number, because he likes to get calls. If you like really need to be counseled, Baba Yashabaya is there for counseling. Please contact him. This is the type of stuff I could do for your channel, you guys. Okay, so all this stuff, when it comes down to who's saying what, all this, so please support the channel. Now, with that being said, I want to get final words from each of the people. Shouts out.
Absolutely. Hallelujah. First and foremost, I give all praise and honor to Yahuwah, the supreme intelligent, powerful one of our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, those striving for righteousness. I say into the family, Shalom Aleichem. It's definitely an honor and a privilege to be on the show. Shout out to DJ Genesis, shout out to Queen 6'2", Baba, Yashabaya, and Abby and everybody that came on, Negro, Ralph, everybody that came on the show. Again, I need everybody to understand clear. We have to deal with just balance and measurement in anything that we do, right? And that situation with P. Diddy is just the beginning of greater things that's going to take place. And I want to make it clear that I'm not siding with Diddy. I'm not saying that he's just a good dude or whatever the case may be. I'm just talking about the evidence at hand. And the evidence shows that he wasn't guilty of RICO conspiracy or none of that stuff. Everybody has to be accountable for their own actions. You know what I'm saying? And y'all can check me out. Y'all can go to, like she said, I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. My music is all over the world. Shout out to Wu-Tang Clan's Killer Priest, who brought me out along with DJ Lowe's. You can get my first album, My Mental Is Never Destroyed. My second album, Journey to the Dark Side of the Moon. My third album, War Cloud. My fourth album be out in a couple of weeks, which is called Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Shout out to everybody in Tanzania. Shout out to my wife, my third wife, Sarah Jacob. Y'all can see her in a few weeks on Baba Olivia, which is like a 20-part miniseries. Part 1 is out. Just type up Baba Olivia, and y'all can see the first episodes. It's like 20 to 21 episodes. Shout out to the director of that, Henry. I already talked to him. Maybe one day I can, get him to come on here. I already talked to him directly yesterday over the phone, and he did agree to come on your show, DJ Genesis, to have an interview, exclusive interview with him. So once he wind down, because they just finished doing season 2. So again, shout out to Sarah Jacob. You're also going to see her in, some other movies coming out. I support her 100%. So that's basically it. We need to just deal with things fairly, reasonable. We got to keep our emotions out of situations like this and just deal with the evidence at hand. I feel as though if this is a second chance for P. Diddy, he definitely need to, change his life, cleanse his eternal, come back into the oneness of self, and, get with his family and get out of that nonsense that he's involved in. So Yahweh is giving him a second chance to handle his business correctly, 10 toes down. And with all that, I say hallelujah. Hebrew Israelite sovereign nationalism has risen worldwide.
All right, Queen. Any final words?
Well, I will second his motion. Thank you, everybody that tuned in. Thank you for watching. Thank you, all my crew. I definitely appreciate you following me and continuing to be supportive, because I am supportive of you as well. As far as the P. Diddy part, you can go back and watch the live. I just did a live with Calvin and Mel. I think it was maybe last Sunday. And my sentiments were the same. Whatever P. Diddy got away with, whatever he did or didn't do, my thing to him is cleanse yourself from the inside, then you'll owe nobody nothing, because the only one that can eat you apart is you. As long as you can control you, you can control things around you. That's when you have the power. So on that note, I could end the P. Diddy. On the note, as far as us bringing back in wealth into our communities, what I would recommend that we do, just like we just heard, take emotions out of things. This is a time that we need to band together and take our emotions off the table. Take your emotions off the table and stop looking at a name. The name Trump is running a lot of people away, but those people that's running are the same people that need help. And because you need help, you need to take the name Trump off the table and look at what's on the paper. Look at what's written. Look at what's there that can change the destiny of not just us right now, but to those 3 and 4 more decades ahead of us. If we start getting ourselves together now, You're not going to see another president that hit the market, not try to change things back to what it's supposed to be and take all the land and the possessions that you're owed. You're not going to get it if you keep the name Trump on the table. Look at the bill. When I put things together, it may not make sense to some, but the ones that are listening, they understand exactly what I'm saying. We get so stuck on title, and if we are the ones that stuck on giving people a chance, this is his second term there. You might want to say maybe somebody trying to tell you something. Because if we can get somebody strong enough to take it and bring the house down, and then you got the roots planted, but now you need the foundation. Because if the roots are planted like this, the foundation have to come like that, because you can't keep standing like this, because everything's still gonna keep falling. The roots are already planted. If you got common sense, pay attention. I could talk about P. Diddy, I could talk about this, but guess what? P. Diddy have his money up there. P. Diddy is important on a different level of conversation for me. But when we start talking back to finances, I'm talking about to the poor. I'm talking about to the po-ho. I'm talking about to the po-ass. I'm talking about to the one that's trying to get it again. All that playing and stuff like that. Yes. The guy said, oh, she's beautiful, but she's tough. No. Sometimes it takes a strong person in order to shape up a house. And just like they say, behind every man is a strong woman. If the real man understands that. And this is where we fall short. And I'm standing behind, because I'm looking for my own to show me that they're a real man. I'm standing behind a white man right now, because what I'm believing in right now, because the love already in my heart, but now it's on to the money. It's on to the money. You got to take your emotions off the table. If you take your emotions off the table, you will see how you can eat. And I'm going to connect, and I'm going to connect, and I'm going to connect through YouTube until I put a chokehold on the right group. And then I'm going to show y'all how you make money. Thank you. And I definitely want to tell Ronald, thank you so much, Ronald. When that song was played about making money, I know you probably aren't subscribed to me, but on my channel, especially coming from my men definitely know whenever they tip me $1, I'm very, very, very appreciative of it. And I like to give special thank yous because of that. And because you tipped that $9.99, I appreciate you. And thank you for doing it, for saying, you know what? She needs something like that, because I feel like she deserves it. Because when you tipped that, my heart said, it's going to be one man. And I promise you, he ain't going to let you down. And listen, he gave me one man to hit that chat and say, you got the power to control a lot of things. All you got to do is follow 3 things. You got to follow your truth. You got to put the Lord the head of your heart. And you got to always be you and never change. Make them change around you. And I feel I'm strong enough to do it. And I'm going to stand firm. So if y'all want me on your channel, I don't mind coming, but playing little simple games, I'm going to leave your stage. But I'm not going anywhere. So if I got to rumble the streets of YouTube, I'm not going to call it YouTubes anymore. I'm going to call it, I'm rumbling the streets of the woods right now. And because I'm a Capricorn, watch how I get to the top. As a Capricorn, I'm an earth sign. And watch me. I'm going to bring it down just like that. Y'all talking about changing things? Put your feet down and start changing. Everybody do all this gossiping and stuff. Stop gossiping. What can you show the people that you're doing? And what I'm showing you that I'm doing is, I got a small channel, talent search, I do every Friday. And I believe in it. You thought y'all seen Star Search? Watch me. And I sign out. Thank you. Thank you, Ron. I definitely appreciate you.
DJ Genesis, play Gross Darkness. No, not that one. Don't play Gross Darkness. Play Gross Darkness.
I like looking at stuff like this. You should have played a couple of them.
Oh, you'll love my music. You'll love my music. Yeah, we can play a couple.
Maybe you could do me an intro.
Absolutely. Yeah, I got you. It's number 10, Gross Darkness. Yeah, play that.
And don't ask me for no money just yet.
Yeah, time to take you
to the oscillated world of existence and pure will. Grows darkness, take the minds of people over. Vultures hunt for the blood of young soldiers. Time of the end of this world is right now. Now, see truth is iron, break chains of bondage, destroy the blindness. As the sun, now you're rising now. Grows darkness, take the minds of people over. Vultures hunt for the blood of young soldiers. Time of the end of this world is right now. Now, see truth is iron, break chains of bondage, destroy the blindness. As the sun, now you're shining now. These are dark eclipse, forming to a Voltron. Even in misty darkness, until it screams of families bleed. Entities are natural enemies of energies, spitting out Mother Nature in the streets. Fears.
It don't supposed to be fast like that.
I liked it.
No, but no. It don't supposed to be. It's something wrong with her joint. That's not how it's supposed to be.
Battle with Armageddon,
Right.
light
Start
and
it
shadow,
over.
fight for
Start it
life
from the
that lies
beginning.
within the circumference of endless bliss. There's nothingness,
Start it from the
transcend
beginning.
mind to timelessness. So evil ones lose their way, Lord.
It started from the beginning. There we go.
Yeah, time to take you to the oscillated world of existence and pure will. Grows darkness, take the minds of people over. Vultures hunt for the blood of young soldiers. Time of the end of this world is right now. Now, see truth is iron, break chains of bondage, destroy the blindness. As the sun, now you're rising now. Grows darkness, take the minds of people over. Vultures hunt for the blood of young soldiers. Time of the end of this world is right now. Now, see truth is iron, break chains of bondage, destroy the blindness. As the sun, now you're shining now. There's a dark eclipse forming to a Voltron. Demon in misty darkness, absorbing screams of families bleeding. Entities are natural enemies of energies, spitting out Mother Nature, menstruated spheres and infinity. Battle with Armageddon, light and shadow, fight for life that lies within the circumference of endless bliss. There's nothingness, transcend mind to timelessness. So evil ones lose their way, lost and known of a dimensional Sephirah, where space-time doesn't exist, known as a Keter of Ezizabad. The holy army of repattering that shatters memories to continue cycles of divine sparks that's reincarnated back into physical arcs. So Elohim can spark either lightning in the dark, form an image and likeness. Mind detect mind, and one is unblind. Our raiders and traders, the Rabbi HaMoshiach is our savior. The sorry daughter, former of my mental makeup. Visions of oneness sustain my anger that lurks in the bottomless pit of our satanic strangers. Violence is sharp as a deadly razor, a venom that's dangerous. When piercing the brain image, your body breakdown is vicious. Your life caught in sand is quicker and your essence is now ascending to another motion of emotion. Your memory is now the logo and stories of old ones showing photos. Grows darkness, take the minds of people over. Vultures hunt for the blood of young soldiers. Time of the end of this world is right now. Now, see truth is iron, break chains of bondage, destroy the blindness. As the sun, now you're rising now. Grows darkness, take the minds of people over. Vultures hunt for the blood of young soldiers. Time of the end of this world is right now. Now, see truth in Zion, break chains of bondage, destroy the blindness. As the sun, now you're shining now.
So I just want to like to thank everybody for being on the show today. Shouts out to Mighty Hebrew. Shouts out to Queen.
Thank you.
Shouts out to Baba Yashabaya. If you want to hear the word cloud, even more of that song, please go on ahead and click the link. I'll put it into the chat. His whole album is on my videos. If you go there, you'll be able to check it out. I'm not gonna play the whole thing because I want you to go check it out yourself. Go ahead and click the link. Much love, guys, and peace.